I wasn't even gonna stream today. I was feeling kind of garbage, but
Yeah, you were
uh,
saying. Are you okay now? Like, are
it,
you doing all right?
I mean, I guess the medicine's taking effect because I feel kind of all right.
Drugs fix everything. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah, yeah. I'm going up and down just depending on it. That's why I'm like, all right, time for a break. I'll bring you in, and then I'll break come in himself. I don't need to bring him up
There you go.
whenever he's in here. But what's up? How's your day been? What'd you do?
I actually just had a girls' day. It was like really chill because school kind of starts up like Tuesday. I don't have any classes till
Oh,
Friday, which is nice. I only have classes on Monday and Fridays. But yeah, we all have school starting, so we're like, you know what, let's do like one last nice thing because my birthday's coming up. So we went out and got waffles, and then we just spent the rest of the day chilling, hanging out. Yeah, it was just a nice time. It's a good time.
you got waffles? Ooh.
Yeah, there's a waffle place near mine that's like really good. There's actually some really good waffle places here, but there's one that's like down by the ocean that's like really nice.
I was about to say, I hope you know you're making me hungry here. I'm like, damn. By the way, you look great today. You always look great. I don't know what I'm
Thank you.
talking about. Let me bring
My
you up.
makeup's all done because that was the other thing. We like all did our makeup because we were like, let's go out, get dressed up, and so my makeup's like actually done for once. It's hard to see on camera though, but I
Oh,
took
hi
half of it
Iggy.
off.
You want to join? Feel free to join. Uh, I guess that's Brady. Or I guess. Let me pull him up
I
here.
can't wait till next
Yep.
week's stream. I'll finally be like a redhead like Brady. So
Hell yeah. What's up?
Awesome. Beck is good. Thanks for following. What's up, Brady?
Yo, how's it going?
It's going, man. It's going. I'm quickly booting up Star Citizen. I want to play uh while we talk for a bit.
Sounds good.
But what'd you do today, Brady? I'm curious.
This
Oh,
weekend I've been kind of binge watching shows. I'm not gonna say
okay.
what show because there's people out there who intentionally spoil stuff
dang it, I was gonna
just to be
ask.
assholes. So I'm not gonna tell you all what I'm watching. I'll tell you, Rex,
Oh, okay, cool.
privately.
Wait, wait, wait,
But
wait. Was it any of the shows that we talked about yesterday?
no.
Oh, okay. I thought you got into that old people like sex designer show that we were talking about
Oh
yesterday.
yeah, you guys should watch that. Holy shit, it's so good.
No. No, just like something on HBO. I've been watching it and I'm into it. It's not like, the best thing I've ever seen, but there's a particular reason I'm watching it. I'm intentionally being vague, and I apologize for that. I'll tell you privately, but I don't want to be spoiled by some crazy lunatic who happens to pass by and wants to be a dick about it.
Understandable. That's why I mean, Lord of the Rings is all over Twitter, so I'm not too worried about it being spoiled. Because I don't know if there's only 2 episodes out, so there's not much to spoil yet. So I'm
Yeah.
okay talking about like I need to watch it though.
Also, real quick, this is just a friendly reminder out there. Guys, if you come into chat and you guys have any questions, write it down in the chat. We're not going to be bringing, unless like we've done streams and stuff before with you're a trusted member of the community. We're not bringing any new people up to talk with us because it's a risk factor. Just stating that out there so it's clear. Uh, oof, oof.
Is the Lord of the Rings show based on like texts, like existing texts, or is it like
Somewhat
from the
yes, and
Silmarillion?
somewhat yes, and somewhat no. So a lot of it's based on like
The
the
lore.
Silmarillion. I know it's definitely got pulling stuff from there, and some of his old like background text work. But
Okay.
apparently they couldn't get access, or they like couldn't get the rights to all of his stuff. So there is stuff that like a lot of stuff that's
Oh,
missing just because they couldn't get the rights to it properly.
hold
So,
on. I
Well,
just realized they can't even hear you guys.
bruh,
Hold on. Hold on. Let me unmute you on my actual OBS. For some reason, that was like muted, so they couldn't hear a word you guys were saying.
God damn it,
oh.
Ed.
I know.
It's okay.
Look at me.
We haven't been saying anything important anyways.
Great. Now, if only this fucking
Damn it,
allow
Brady
me
could
to
have told
do
me
it.
what he was watching then.
Am I still muted?
You're still. Wait, hold on. I just want to make sure before I go ahead and. Yeah, bro. I was like, wait a minute. Like, why is this bar still here? Okay. Hold on. All right. Here we go. Um, Professional streamer in action. You know it, Moist.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, they can hear me just fine. All right, you can say it real quick before I go ahead and unmute it.
Well, I'm watching The Sopranos,
Oh. Okay.
which I've never seen, and I really don't actually care for it that much, but the therapist on the show is portrayed extremely well. Like,
All
Oh.
right, unmute.
So
There you go.
that-
Now I can hear
Okay.
you guys.
Interesting.
so
I
that's
don't
why
even
I'm-
know anything about the show, so no idea.
yeah, that's the reason I'm watching it. Not really for the reasons most people watch it.
That's fair.
Now we can hear. Yeah, Moist. Turned around just in time, I think.
I have a question. Have you guys ever watched the
Yes.
movie The Island? It's got
No.
Ian McGregor, Scarlett Johansson.
No, I at least wait. Like Shutter Island? No.
No, it's just called The Island.
Actually, I think I have seen this movie. It's a Michael Bay movie, isn't it?
I don't know, maybe.
It might be.
Is it
Where they're
body doubles?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's directed by Michael Bay. I've seen that.
What'd you think of it? Did you like it?
No,
What?
I don't think so. I might have watched it.
No. Fucking
I don't-
Brady, no.
Well, I don't really remember it, so I probably didn't like it that much.
No. There's no way.
I'm not gonna be married to that opinion. I don't
Okay.
remember if I liked it or not, but I'm just saying no because I clearly don't remember it. But I know what movie that is, and I've seen it.
Okay. Because I love this movie. We were talking about it with my family today. I don't remember why it came
Okay.
up, but
Well, maybe it's worth a revisit.
it is because the ethical dilemmas in it are insane.
Okay, I'm into that. I like dilemmas, especially of an ethical nature.
I don't
Yeah, I
know
was
if Ed's
about
gonna
to say,
want
Brady.
it.
I think Brady. I think we know you like dilemmas.
Because I wanted to
You watch
discuss it with you two because I thought it'd be like a fun thing to discuss. But I don't know if Ed's gonna watch it, so I don't want to spoil
Well,
anything.
what's the non-spoiler conflict? Like, what's the inside?
You can't
If you
like
tell
the
us
main.
the conflict is set up in the first 20 minutes though.
No,
so
because you
that's a
don't
big
get
spoiler.
insight into what's actually happening until 40 minutes into the movie, I think. 20 minutes in, you start to see weird things, and then 40 minutes in, it's all kind of clarified. Actually, I don't know how long the movie is. I feel like it's later in the movie that you start to realize what's happening.
Oh.
So I don't want to spoil it if he's gonna watch it. Moist Master called it a boring ass. You guys suck. Your movie takes are shit. Your community has the worst movie takes. I swear to God.
My community has the worst movie takes. Damn.
That's such a leap just based on you disliking
One opinion.
my movie takes. Just my personal takes
Just
on Star
Brady
Wars.
and anyone else who agrees with Brady.
Hey, that's just one take I have. Most of my movie tastes are pretty based.
Like what?
Okay, wait.
No, you're so wrong. Wait, which movie takes do you have that are based?
Okay, Brady, here.
Moist
We'll
needs to be
take it.
fucking bad. He
The
just
Thing.
called Spirited Away
The
mid.
original The Thing, phenomenal movie. Yeah?
The original
Yes.
the thing
yeah.
is from 1950. You're talking about John Carpenter's remake.
The Thing. Yeah, John Carpenter's remake. Like
Yeah.
it? Hate it?
Yeah, it's excellent.
There you go. All right, base take.
Okay.
Base
I don't know
take.
if I've watched The Thing, actually.
It's excellent.
I gotta look it up now. Now I don't know if I've watched it.
It's a classic, a horror science fiction classic.
I definitely heard of
What did-
it, but I don't know if I've ever watched it. 1982, that one was released?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it holds up so well. Like, that movie looks better than half movies made today in terms of its effects.
Howl's Moving Castle is a great movie, Moist Master. I liked it more than Spirited Away.
What?
Yeah, I'm gonna agree there. Howl's Moving Castle is my favorite Studio Ghibli movie.
Oh, Spirited Away is mine.
Grave of the Fireflies, though.
I still haven't seen that one.
I still haven't
I
seen
just-
it either. Everyone's been telling me to watch it. It's one of the only Ghibli movies I haven't seen.
Well, I feel like I have to be in the mood to be depressed if I want
Yeah.
to watch that.
Yeah.
No, it's an uplifting movie, right?
Shut
Fuck
up.
you.
I already know it's so
I know.
sad.
I already know it's not. I know
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
super depressing.
Me and Brady should watch it off stream together and then immediately come onto stream to yell at Ed about it.
Yes,
You know
we
what?
should.
You know what? Why don't we do a watch party on Discord?
Yeah, we can do that.
That way we get your live actual comments to it. I think that'd be fun.
I'd be down for that. We can't really stream. Can we stream it to Twitch though? As long as you do that thing that you do with the editing.
Yeah, with the filter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably.
Your channel's still small enough. I think we're okay. When your channel gets too big, you get fucked.
Yeah, I don't know. I really like filmmaking, like the subject of the background of films getting made almost more than I like the movies themselves.
Oh, yeah,
So stuff like The Thing is really interesting to me.
What about the background of Wizard of Oz filmmaking?
Well, I mean,
all the haunted shit on set.
well, I mean that's just like folktale stuff. But I know more specifically, stuff about Judy Garland, who was extremely mistreated.
Oh yeah.
In the filming, not just the filming of that show, but just in general.
Yeah,
like,
the film industry in general treated her like shit. She got taken
Yeah.
advantage
Wait, really?
of so much. Yeah, dude, she got treated like, considering how respected and well known she is today, at the time where she was in the film industry, she was so taken advantage of and like just mistreated by companies.
Oh shit.
my mom's a big Judy fan, so I've listened to a lot of commentary about her life and that sort of thing, and it's really sad.
Oh shit. I didn't. All right, hold on. Why can I never find a channel in Discord? Iggy.
Just scroll, Iggy, just scroll to the bottom and go to
You just
general.
you have to join the general voice
Just
chat.
join general.
Don't join studio audience. Join. It has a little microphone symbol and it says general,
Yeah.
and it's like all the way at the bottom. Iggy, you join your own voice chat on your own Discord all the time. It's just like that.
Just keep scroll
like how-
all the way to the bottom, Iggy. All the way to the bottom. Scroll the last section until you cannot scroll any further.
I'm
And
not
hit
saying
general.
anything because she always says I mansplain how to join Discord chats when I explain it. So Rex, you've got this.
Yeah. Notice how I'm staying quiet here because I'm like, nope, I'm not gonna.
Listen, you're like a week pregnant. Shut up. Okay, you're fine. Go to the scroll. Also, you did this before you're pregnant. You can't say shit, okay? I love you, but I'm sorry. I love you, Iggy.
Wait, are you having a little Iggy?
Did you not see her message? Oh, she's in.
I mean,
she
I
got
see
it.
it.
No, Iggy, go back. You were in general. What'd you do?
I mean, I can see her her message in the stream chat. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, there you go. Now someone drag her in before she leaves again.
Whoa, congrats.
we
3.5
got
weeks.
it.
Dang.
Oh, now I gotta
Hi.
fucking fix my Discord shit again.
Yup.
There we go.
Oh,
Am I sideways again? I don't know why it does this. What's
Yeah,
that
you're
actual
sideways.
call? Oh, whatever. I'll just do this. I don't know
hold
why.
on. I gotta.
iPad. Am I still?
Now you're backwards. That's
Yeah.
fine.
Damn. You know what? That's fine. Hi.
Oh, there you are.
What's up?
What up?
Just living the dream. Having a normal, flow of life events. Totally. How about you guys?
Yeah, normal flow.
Yeah, totally meant to get knocked up by my ex. That's a great time. Yeah, it's fun. Anyway, how are you all? What's going on?
Oh, Iggy.
I'm here to
Oh,
distract.
Iggy.
Yeah, listen, I don't do your shit, okay? Okay. Hey, he has good genes at least, so it'll be.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, I think it's fine. If he has one thing going for him.
Well, I mean, you will get a minion to help take care of the plants and everything. Out of it.
Honestly, it's like something biologically switched in me, and I was just like, yes, I'm ready for bebe. But anyways, what's going on with y'all?
Not much. Nothing as exciting as that.
Yeah, I was about to be like,
Yeah,
Wow.
nothing too exciting.
Well, you have cat baby.
Say what?
How's she? I said you have the cat baby. How's she doing?
That's true. My child is growing up fast.
Oh, she's
She's
so cute.
she's adorable.
When are you guys getting cats?
Me? Oh, I'm not.
Well, Edgar has dogs.
Yeah, I have
Oh,
dogs.
I'm getting a dog
I-
hopefully next year.
let's
oh God,
go.
dogs.
Yeah, dogs are great. At least my dogs are so far.
We had one, but he passed away a little while, like oh God, probably a year ago. Oh, just over a year ago now. Oh shit, no, I think it's coming up on 2 years that he passed away. Oh my God, time flies. Um, but like no one in my family was like ready for one right after he passed, so we waited a little while, and now my dad's cutting back on his working hours, so we're thinking about getting another dog.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's exciting. It's really tough too, especially after like losing one. You have
Oh
to have
yeah.
that like space. I feel.
I think that's why we waited so long. It's like no one's like ready to move on.
That
But
makes sense. I'm glad it's time now though. We're coming up.
anyway, what else have you been up to? How's the new job?
It hasn't started yet, and I'm beginning to think that like it just is never like the company doesn't seem like they have it together. Like sent me this like Calendly invite or whatever to schedule a call with them, which like I'd already done once, and they were like, "We don't have any training classes yet, so we'll call you back." I'm like, "Okay." And then whenever I click on the invite to schedule a call to talk about it again, it says there like aren't any times that there weren't any times in August available, and that there are any times in September. So I'm just gonna go back on the hunt. But now I'm like, who the fuck's gonna hire me if I'm pregnant? Like that's definitely a thing that people try to not do. So I'm like, we'll see how that goes.
I was gonna say, isn't that kind of sus though?
Yeah, I
Like-
feel
No,
like
it is very
It's sus. It's extremely sus to be like, hey, just wait a month for us to train you and do
Yeah,
nothing.
like
in
they
the meantime.
Well, I mean, it may. I mean, I can imagine it's probably because like most places are understaffed, but the training classes are probably like just when they have them, they probably try to get as many people in them as possible. 'Cause it's like 60 days.
maybe.
But yeah, I'm
But if you're short
waiting
staffed, you'd
around.
want
I'm gonna
people on as soon as possible too.
for sure. So I'm like, yeah, no, I'm definitely over it. I'm like, I'm done. So I'm just gonna start applying again because unemployment is not enough, especially since I'm paying rent.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I don't qualify for SNAP anymore, which now I will, but yeah, it's too stressful, especially now that it's not just me. I'm like I can live on ramen and nothingness, but not now.
Well, at least there's lots of government programs for when you're pregnant, so taking advantage of all of them.
Definitely, yeah. Like I said, I was on food stamps, but since I get unemployment, they're like, you make too much. I'm like, well, I definitely don't, but I understand that that's how the United States is. But with with pregnant, I'll definitely get WIC and shit. So there's at least that upside. But yeah, major life change here. It's, whatever.
Huh.
That's the cats to comfort me. Come here. I'm trying to get all of their now.
I can't believe you end up off food stamps even if you're on unemployment, because it feels like even if you make a lot on unemployment, you're still on unemployment, right?
Yeah,
That doesn't
still
make
total
sense.
bullshit.
That feels
It
really.
doesn't at all. They just like fuck your life. I'm like, that's fine. I'm not behind on my credit cards, and like falling further into debt, and then like gonna not be able to like get like housing because of my credit score. It's whatever. It's fine.
Jesus.
I just have like learned to roll with the punches at this point. So like, yes, I'm irritated and frustrated, but I'm not surprised.
Are you living on your own right now?
No, I have a roommate,
Okay. Okay. At least you have someone around.
and there's like exactly, and I'm fulfilling the destiny that's like my only purpose to my parents. So like they'll be a lot more helpful now, I'm sure.
Damn.
Yeah.
Are your parents more traditional, like just want grandkids kind of thing?
Oh yeah, definitely. And they have like my niece, but like my brother's passed, so like they're not gonna have any more from, or they thought they were gonna have any more. And so like they're definitely hyped. Or at least my mom is. She like started to cry. I have no idea. My dad's probably like, oh God, but whatever. They love being grandparents, so. But yeah, what game are you playing, Ed?
Star Citizen.
Oh, nice. Is that like an old game? Is that like I was thinking of Star Fox. That's
No,
not the same.
it's not old. It's actually still in development. It's not really released yet.
Okay.
Oh God.
Oh, I missed the comment. Hi, Yuahobi. How's it going?
Ooh.
I haven't done any planned streams in like weeks because my life fell apart, and now it's like I'm getting back into it. But now my school's starting. I was like, oh shit, I should have planned more stuff before school started.
Your life fell apart.
I told you about everything that happened last night.
I know. That's why I'm like.
Hey, sweetie, that is not nice.
I hope you know. I fell asleep and I was still like, I'm worried about you. You doing good?
Oh yeah, I'm fine. I probably dealt with worse than this, but it's just like suddenly after so long, it's like things are good, 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 and then you're like you hit the wall and you're like, fuck, again. Yeah.
I feel like that's how it always is. It's like everything's great, like, and then it's just like, let me humble you.
Mm-hmm. I was like, my life's coming together, my grades are up, I'm doing well in school, I'm happy with everything, and then like one thing knocked over, and I was like, and it all just went crashing down. I was like, oh, okay, great, let's start again.
I feel like I'm tired of learning lessons for a while.
Mm-hmm.
I've learned plenty of them. I just like to take a pause on them for a while.
I've learned enough. Please stop.
What was a weird summer vacation for like life lessons? Come on, non-existent.
What is the what's the saying? God gives his strongest soldiers the hardest journeys. Or
Battles.
Oh, thank you.
My favorite is
sorry.
Bravest soldiers, the worst tummy aches, or something like that. I like that one a lot.
Oh my god. Yeah. No, that's what it feels like right now. Okay.
I'm sorry.
It'd be like that. How?
Yeah. Ow.
Wait, what?
I got halfway through that sentence, forgot what I was gonna say.
Oh, really? Are you pregnant? Do you have an excuse?
No, I'm pretty just undiagnosed mental health issues. So.
Or, and I'm sorry, that doesn't resonate. That resignates. Sorry, there's like a horrible person online who thinks she's a poet, and she literally says resignate instead of resonate, among many things.
Is this the person who just went through a major breakdown on TikTok?
Oh shit, I don't know. Did she? I had just learned of this person's existence.
Wait, hold on. I'll message you on Discord. Actually, oh, fuck it. Are you talking about Gabby Hanna?
No, but she sounds familiar too.
Okay,
never mind. Who are these people?
Wait, what happened?
Doing an interview or something like that. Who is Gabby Hanna? That also sounds familiar to me.
Yeah, wait, who are you talking about then? Is it someone big? If it's someone big, I don't care about naming names.
No, it's Amberlynn Reed.
Oh.
She's just like internet, like.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, she's been in so many controversies. She's apparently just like the shittiest person.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, my friend just brought her to my attention and has been making me like read her shitty poetry. Like, let me read this one actually. Like, if you like,
she did poetry.
I was like, yeah, I mean, it's not good, you know. Hang on, where's that?
Yeah, we just shitting on people. This has just become a drama stream because of me and Iggy. Let's just shit on people on Ed's stream. Ed's like nice mental health, like happy stream, and me and Iggy getting here, we're like, let's shit on people on the internet.
I'm over here.
Not even pretend. Like, listen, okay, I'm sorry, you can't. I'm literally only going to read the first two lines. It's called "I'm Not Like the Moon." Okay, it's great already. I'm not like the moon. I won't shimmer in the dark and make you look at me and astonish.
Oh,
in astonish.
And just in astonish.
Yeah, astonish. Yeah. What's the point? She has this video where she talks about how like when she finally opened up to her mom and like let her read her poetry, her mom was like, "Oh, it's gonna be so easy for you to get published." And I was like, "Oh my god!" So I've been joking about. I'm like, my baby is already published. Like it's not even out of the and it has a publishing deal.
Oh
yeah, they're really. You just couldn't get past it, astonished. And I was like, girl, you're missing some of that word. You could have rephrased that sentence, like all around, like what? Yeah, she's pretty awful.
Yeah, no, this person has done like some crazy shit in the past. Like, I know, I saw videos like just going over all the like terrible, like she's just like, people think she's like a pathological liar because of how much they lie on stream or like on their channel constantly. Like they'll like have like videos back to back that just have like conflicting information all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah, there are people who've like put together like clips of like her saying one thing and then like contradicting it and like another one. I'm like, what is wrong with you?
and then like even with the ex-girlfriend, like she lied about the ex-girlfriend a ton, and then lied about like the current girlfriend like doesn't treat her very well. Like so people like she's not great in relationships that she's been in, and so a lot of people have pointed out the really bad behavior of her when she's in relationships. It's like, ooh, it's not good. Oh, yeah, and you guys could analyze the shit out of that because that the behavior is just wild.
Oh yeah, like now I kind of want to find one and like, yeah, you guys, Ed, fuck your game.
Fuck my game.
Game. Let's talk about this.
Oh, I'm hearing you. I'm paying attention.
We want you to. Can you take a break and do a little react?
Hold on. Because if I just stop here, it all goes to waste. So give me a second. But yes, my thing is, yes, it is Gamer Nerd Saga here. My thing with, because that was Gabby Hanna, yeah.
Oh, did you watch the Gabby Hanna stuff, Ed?
I've heard a lot of shit. Best way to put it, like I get updated on a lot of like the drama that's happening. I'm just like, all right. And
what
why
is
do
any
I care?
of this stuff?
Brady's a boomer.
Yeah, Brady's too pure.
I'm out of touch with all this stuff. I've never been on TikTok.
I mean, I think she's on YouTube. I don't know.
She's on YouTube, yeah.
Yeah, Gabby Hanna's an old YouTuber though. Like she's like been on the internet for like since like 2012. Like she's been around for a good amount of time on YouTube and big on YouTube for a good amount of time. Like she was in with all the big YouTubers even back then. And then she kind of took a break from the internet and then came back and she was doing music and stuff. And then she just started losing her mind on every social media platform, just acting super weird and super insane. Oh yeah, then she she literally in like a single day, she posted like 100 to 200 TikToks like back to back to back over like the course of like 1 or 2 days. Like just wild behavior. She was saying some like super racist shit during that whole manic episode, and I was just
Has social media addiction entered the DSM the DSM TR the text
not
division?
yet, not yet, sadly.
A major symptom of something,
but it should be because like let's be honest, like at least social media and new like technology has really started to impact like it's like direct comorbidity with people's mental health now. So like it has to be revised, it has to be looked into.
Oh yeah,
but who makes the rules on that? It's a bunch of people like are outdated on like psychology, best way to put it,
or at least the happenings of young people, I guess.
When was the text revision?
Wasn't the text revision like last year or like the year before? It happened while we were in school, I think, actually. Because I remember one of our professors was talking about it. Wouldn't it just fall under obsessive behavior? Not necessarily.
I was going to ask, like, does it not just fall under like other addictive behaviors? Like if you're like alcohol addicted or drug addicted, like would it not all just be under the like branch of addiction?
No, you do separate them even by severity. So you could have substance use disorder mild, substance use disorder moderate, substance use disorder severe.
Okay.
Right? Like you have different codes for different ones. And that's also for insurance purposes, like for diagnosing. So they do delineate quite specifically stuff like that. However, you know, there might be like alcohol use disorder, methamphetamine use disorder, like stuff like that. So that's why I'd suggest that there would be a specific code for social media related stuff.
Yeah, because it's very different than the other ones.
Obviously, it would have comorbidity with like potentially personality disorders and addiction.
Have you ever like worked? Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go for it.
I was just gonna say, do you think have you ever worked with like younger people that have had like that you've noticed like had like either addiction to social media or like had social media be a major factor in the issues that they suffered? I don't know. Again, you don't have to go into that, like obviously for privacy reasons, but like, just any instances have you seen it like at this point in your life?
I have.
Okay.
Or
I don't know if I'd put it at that level for me personally, but that I know that it has happened. I mean, but I don't think I've firsthand worked with a case where that was like, something that needed severe intervention on.
Okay.
But it's always it can be a part of stuff,
Interesting.
What is like? How does it manifest? Like that you all have seen?
Oh, well, you want me to be straight up with you?
Yeah.
Parents giving kids as their first attachment thing quite literally being an iPad or a fucking phone. And so now you have kids with extreme attachment issues to their phones and iPads. That's the only way that they can actually regulate their anxiety and or depressive episodes.
Interesting.
So now so now you have to start intervening and start actually being like, wait a minute, like this guy can't even go like without his phone, like even while asleep, or like otherwise it's like separation anxiety.
He's
and,
like cradling in his sleep.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Just for my chat, somebody asked, what kind of jobs do y'all have? If everyone just wants to kind of put out there.
I'm a therapist myself, primary therapist.
I guess I should probably turn on my camera for your stream. Yeah.
Oh yeah, sure, go nuts. I am not currently working. I used to work as a chemist in a lab doing experimentation, but currently I'm just going to school. So not in a job right now. I'm doing school I was in chemistry, I'm now doing criminology. So yeah, that's where I'm at.
I am a therapist as well. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Psychologist, therapist, same thing.
Yep. It is fun.
He used to be in a lot of management, and now I am not. And I just am a stay-at-home cat and plant, soon to be mom, I guess.
Human mom.
And yeah, and I don't know. I have an LLC for like a plant business, and there's other shit I want to do, but I have not put money into that because I have none. So I just kind of exist right now, but I'm not mad.
Hey, that's a hard job.
Just
existing.
Yeah.
I've never had this opportunity to work on my mental health before, and even though it's been rocky, it's still been like it's been wonderful. So like, been working since I was 16. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, I've had on and off jobs since like the age of like 15, and now I just haven't worked for like the last year just because I've been focusing on school.
I don't know how people do work in school. I would lose my shit.
Oh my God, same. I have so many friends who do it because they need to, and luckily I'm like in a financial position that I don't. But I was like, I was working, but I was doing my chemistry degree while working in a chemistry lab. It wasn't attached to school. It was like I got it through a different means. But like even doing that when I could like work whatever I wanted, hours I wanted at the chemistry lab, like I still was struggling to do school and that job, even though I had like very, very flexible hours.
My thing is, if you want to talk about mental health, that'll eat you up quickly. Like working a full-time job and going to school. Yeah.
I don't know. I seriously don't like working full time alone. I'm like, this is not enough time to like live, like to have like a balance in life. So I really don't know how people. It's baffling to me. How many hours did you work like a full 40-hour work week, and then like what? How many hours into school?
Yeah, like full-time work, full-time school.
Jesus Christ.
At least for my undergrad, like that was not doing that ever again.
Yeah, no, I never did that. Thank God.
What's this 2022? I started out in private practice, and now I work at a clinic. and I believe you're a mix of both, right?
Yeah, so I have my own private practice, and I also like work out in the community as well. So yeah.
More like, do you work through like a government organization type of thing, like for your non-private practice?
It's nonprofit.
Okay, cool, gotcha. Interesting.
Yeah, I would definitely go back into private practice eventually, because also having like just a typical full-time job hour work week, like I have the energy for it right now, but I won't forever. And then that's when I'll go back to private practice. But I started private practice before I really could sustain that, and well, I mean it sustained myself, but it was very hard to do right out of university. So I'm doing this now and getting my skills and credentials improved for however long. Then I'll go back to it.
Was there any other like major upsides to private practice over like working with a company or like an outside organization?
Pay.
Wait, what was it?
Yeah,
The pay?
well,
I mean, go ahead,
the-
Brady.
yeah, I mean, the pay is better for me at this clinic because it's more stable. Like when I'm doing private practice, right? Like I'm also marketing the business and, doing all of my documentation, taxes, like, you're doing as much to manage your business as you are just doing therapy. So if I had a bigger organization, yeah, that would pay me better, right? Because I'd be able to charge whatever I want, basically, which is what I'll be, aiming for down the line. Obviously, like making my own schedule, not having to like, really report to anyone, but also let's say you get audited, right? And it's not uncommon for mental health organizations to get audited, not necessarily for, you know, financial reasons, but for documentation, like, by the insurance companies. Um, I wasn't billing insurance, right? I was doing like out of pocket. Like my clients didn't pay with insurance, so I was never audited in that way. But I know the experience of a lot of people is like, yeah, like if your business gets audited, that's up to management. But if it's your private practice, like
You're a lot more
it's just a lot of
liable.
work. Your
Yeah.
documentation has to be like so fucking good,
Yeah.
know.
I guess yeah, the liability I guess is a lot scarier at that point because if anything goes wrong, it's all on you. Versus
Yeah.
like if you work at a company, that's never really going to affect you unless the company shuts down.
Yeah. There's advantages and disadvantages to both, but that's why I'm like right now I'm good with what I'm doing, but in the long run, I'll go back to it, basically.
Settling down, or is it still like wild? Like, are there still people?
It's been settling down quite a bit. Feeling a lot more like, yeah, just generally
Thank you for the
stable.
follow. I just realized that it's showing up behind my camera, I think. God damn it.
Wait, what?
No, I just got a follow, but I think it's like popping up. I don't know how to move things to the back versus to the front on Streamlabs.
Oh no.
Because I realized like the box I have you guys is in front of a bunch of my like alerts, and now I don't know how to actually move it to the back of all of those. If anyone has tips on how to do that. Also, what's this 2022 is also asking everyone's ages, just like for a general idea. I will be 22 in exactly 24 hours and 19 minutes. So there you go. Getting close there.
Dang.
Wait, and you're not getting wasted?
Fuck
Jesus.
no, I don't drink that much. I told you.
Dang.
I get high more than I get drunk by a long shot.
Oh, you're so cute.
I'm 28.
I'm
27.
Oh wait,
There you
Brady's
go.
older out of the two of you. Why did I think Ed was
Yeah.
older? What the fuck?
Well, thank you. Appreciate that.
Sorry.
I'm the
I just got the ages
here.
mixed up. I really thought you guys were the other way around. Never mind.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm a little older. Now this little girl here is 6 months old, I guess, now.
Oh.
Actually,
Girl looks so cozy, and I'm gonna snag him up anyway.
Oh my god, you guys and your cats. My guinea pigs are
Nuts.
sleeping in the room.
You and your cats.
she's not really a shoulder cat yet,
No.
but she's learning.
I wonder if he'll let me hold him like a baby right now. Come on. Oh no. He's like, fuck this. I was sleeping. Okay.
That's also my like experience. I'm like, let me hold you like a child, and she's like,
Yeah, come on, Iggy, you gotta practice. Let's go.
I know, right? He does let me. He was like, I'm sleeping hardcore. Honestly, scaring babies horrifies me. I think I only held my niece like once or twice. I was like,
Oh, God. I was like that for a long time where I was like, don't hand me a child because I was so scared of dropping it all the time.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Don't hand me a child.
Don't hand me a child, bro. I don't want to hold babies. It scares the hell out of me because I always feel like I'm gonna drop it. I was dropped on my head a lot as a kid, so maybe it's some PTSD.
I'm not gonna comment.
Oh
Shut
no.
up. Shut up. I have a scar on my forehead. Not on my forehead, on my eyebrow here. You can't see it on camera, but there's a big scar under my eyebrow. Because I ran into a TV stand as a child and gashed my eye open. My aunt put me on the counter one time when, like, before I turned 1, and my mom told her, she's like, don't leave her there. She can't sit up on her own. She'll fall over. And my aunt's like, it's fine. I'm just grabbing milk out of the fridge. So she put me down, turned around to just open the fridge door, and all of a sudden you just heard this like thunk. And my mom was watching, and she's like, you dropped head first, and there was like an open dishwasher. I went like head first, bounced, and then landed on the floor.
Oh my God.
My brother, so they took me into the hospital for that, and I was okay. And then 2 weeks later, we were hanging out after school because my mom's a teacher, and me and my brother were like just playing around. My brother had my mom's keys, and he was swinging the keys around and smacked me in the head with them, and it also gashed open my forehead. And my mom had to take me back to the hospital, and it was the same doctors there, and then they were like investigating her because they thought like I was being abused at home because I was in the hospital twice for head injuries in like 2 weeks. And it was just totally accidental, and nothing like bad happened. It was just the fact that like 2 accidents happened really close together. So yeah, a lot of weird head injuries as a child.
I also have a scar on my eyebrow.
Which one? Your left or your right?
Kind of hard to see because it's like a pink scar and it's not going to show up very well on camera. But if you see me in person, it's like pretty noticeable.
Left eye?
Yeah, my left eye.
Me too. Right. Actually, I don't know if you can.
I got hit in the head with a skateboard.
I don't think you're gonna be able to see on camera.
Just thrown.
It's like
just thrown
right
at
here.
me. Mine's above the eyebrow.
Oh, mine's right below. Sounds not fun. It really wasn't. Apparently, I cried a lot. What kind of delivery mechanisms do you think would be best for providing more mental health resources in America? Government-centered, nonprofit, or hybrid? Ooh, that's a good question. I'm personally for a mix of usually private practice and government-centered, just because I think like having the options of like of government, like something that's provided by the government that the government manages, that's open to like more accessible to more people, especially lower income people, is good. But then having a private practice option also keeps the government options from getting overrun, which is what happens in a lot of places that only have like one style of like hospitalization or like medical systems. So that's my prescription.
It is a hard question to answer because of even with like government funded programs, you're not necessarily likely for someone with low income to get a specialization, right? Because there's many specializations, and someone who needs a very particular kind of therapy, EMDR, for example, or something like that, right? You know, you're likely. I'm not saying for EMDR specifically, but like if you need a special kind of like specialization, you're probably going to be in private practice, you know, unless you just get lucky with someone who's certified to do that. Mm-hmm. So it's just it's one of those questions that doesn't have a simple answer because it involves discussing the insurance system and also like the requirements for licensure, you know, and that's also different state per state. I don't mean to like cop out of giving an answer, but it's like a huge subject that's hard to give like a. God. So I'm just going to say hybrid as well because neither of them function wholly right now for what they're even supposed to do. So just both.
You and your politician-like answers. It's terrible.
I'm not a politician.
You
though.
give politician-like answers. I was like, I like this, and this for these reasons, and you're like, well, let me dance around the question to not give an answer. I love you.
Yeah, it depends.
I mean, it's true though. What I'm saying is I'm not being non-committal. I've actually realized my speech has become so non-committal, like as well, like especially like working as a therapist, like you get so anytime someone asks you something, you know, it's always my answer is always like, well, it could be potentially, right? Dependently. And it's just because like you can't, you know, one, you're trying to maintain professionalism, so you're not, you're not trying to give straight answers to people's complaints if they have them, but at the same time, like, you're trying to remain neutrally supportive towards them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't just want to shut them down. So I have gotten very just non-committal with my answers. Like everything is very potentially.
Terrible. Worst person to talk to on stream, Brady.
No, I don't do it on purpose though. I mean,
I know.
I'm doing it intentionally, but I don't intend for the outcome to be like you're not giving a straight answer, because I just don't want to give a straight answer that's not honest or viewing
All encompassing.
Yeah, like that's wholly representative of my thoughts.
One issue that I have seen is that due to how many states budget operate, unless funding is written in statute, funding is only on biennium period. I don't know what that means. I'm not American. I don't know what that means. So no one
I
wants
don't know what
to.
that means either.
Oh, okay. Well, let's look it up. So no one wants to necessarily stand up a program, but not have any budgetary promise after that 2-year period. So orgs that might want to expand in that area are hesitant. Oh,
Biennium.
I have never. I don't know enough about like individual state budgeting. Obviously, because I'm not in the States, and obviously because that's a very niche thing. But if that's the case, then I would understand why that makes it pretty hard.
Well, my thing is,
if you only have like 2 years, if you only have 2 years like guaranteed, then like it's gonna be really hard to set anything up.
well, here's, you want me to be straight up? There should be a hybrid system. Hopefully that's where it starts moving into, where, for example, right, there's a lot of insurances are only paying for CBT or DBT.
Mm-hmm.
Because for them, that's it. That's the gold standard. If you can cover someone's symptoms, guess what? You're a good therapist. And like, sadly, that's the way that it's been for like the past number of years, where people are like, hey, I really want to go more in depth into my issues. And they're like, no, we're just going to do CBT or DBT, and that's pretty much it. But if you want to have narrative psychodynamic play therapy, EMDR, or like, any of like the other fucking therapeutic options, insurances are like, nah. Well, we ain't doing any of that, which is sadly why a lot of therapists go into private practice. Like, you have issues, you have that stuff happening. If it's a hybrid system, I think it'd work wonderful. But jumping into that, sadly, at least in the state that we're in, there's a lot of contract opportunity or grant opportunities that are given even to random new upstarting companies. So like, let's say that it's a 2-year, 3-year contract for mental health specialists, case managers, all of that regard. If the company goes bankrupt in a year, they still get paid that full amount, the millions and millions of dollars. So it's just like wasted money, simply. Just throwing that out there. And like, that's actually an issue that's been popping up quite a lot, which is like the money's not going where it's supposed to go. But yeah.
Here's a more not controversial, harder question for you. What would you say to people who are against hybrid systems simply because like you're only in a hybrid system, like let's say you have government and private practice, the only people who are going to be able to afford private practice are upper class, therefore like you're necessarily subjecting lower class people to like worse care because they're going to have to use the government system, which is not as high quality as the private practices have the potential to be.
What would I say to someone who thinks there should not be a hybrid system? Or
because they'd be against hybrid system because of the classist aspect of it, or potential classist aspects.
Well, what's the alternative? It's either it's all private practice, in which case no one's going to be able to go to therapy, or it's no private practice, which uproots like one of the foundations of the like American economy, is which people can go into business for themselves. Like it's like a question that's like not even worth asking because it just would never happen.
Well, yeah, but like like hypothetically, if like you could create just an all government system that like only the government, well, because like Canada has like business opportunity, like you can build your own business, but like in the like with stuff like
what
that.
I would say is there just needs to be better everything. Like in Denmark, you can get government funded therapy, and it's as high quality as private practice. The only difference is whether like you just want to choose your doctor, I guess, or your clinician. So it's America's problem. It's not that a hybrid system couldn't exist. It's not inherently classist to have a hybrid system. The United States is classist for basically hobbling the skill ceiling of like government funded programs and that sort of thing. Because like I've lived in countries where like your insurance will pay for healthcare that's as high quality as the private stuff.
Mhm.
Do you think private practices are more incentivized to be higher quality just because they like have to rely on themselves rather than like background funding?
Maybe. I mean, I opened my private practice like the first couple of months after I got out of university.
Mm-hmm.
It's objectively not the highest quality of care because I was a very new therapist.
Yeah,
But I was, I'm still charging, lower rates than a lot of people, but still like a premium rate because I
yeah.
wasn't taking insurance.
But like,
But
let's
that's
say,
not America, so I can't speak for America because America's
yeah, but you can have
dumb.
like a new person in a like in government care versus a new person in private care. But like, let's say you have two people who've been practicing for 10 years. One person works in private practice and one person works as like a government through a government agency. Do you think that the person who's got their own practice for 10 years has more incentive to like do higher quality work than a government funded worker because they have something to rely back on? If like they fuck up, it's not as like detrimental as if a person in a private practice fucks up. Not saying I agree with that statement. It's just a
Yeah.
question, of course.
Well, but you can also get private malpractice insurance.
Yeah.
Like, for example, if I'm working for a clinic, they have a certain amount of liability responsibility for employing me, but I can also, in addition to that, have my own malpractice insurance.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're in private practice, you absolutely should, obviously, for your liabilities' sake. I don't know if like being on your own is the incentive necessarily. It's more like your client retention. Like,
Yeah.
The kind of person who's going to private practice is probably not using that service desperately,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because they're they'd probably be more locked into like a more government funded or a nonprofit or something that way. Because like if you're going for private counseling, this is probably something you would shop around. Like if your therapist's not working out, you just go get another one. You can just choose them.
Yeah.
So your main incentive as a therapist in private practice is like to retain your clients.
Yeah.
So obviously you're going to want to do as much as you can for them.
Yeah. Okay.
Because your funding really does just come down to individual patients sometimes.
So I know that's usually like a big conversation around like private and public practice when it comes to like medical care in general, because a lot of people say like, oh, like if you want to be able to like access higher levels of care, like there should be private practices available to you that like you should be able to choose to go between rather than just like having to go to one because like there's only one standard for everyone. Whereas like if you have some private practices, then people can kind of shop around if they want to and if they have the means to. But then people will usually argue against saying like that's a classist measure because like people who are in the lower class will be subject to have to like take the lowest quality of care and won't have that option to shop around. But I don't know. I think like just because something's not necessarily fair doesn't mean it shouldn't be done. Because like I understand like as long as there's options for everybody, then I think it's okay to have higher and lower like tier options, right? Like if you have like a person who's like private practice and they want to charge way more money, that's fine if people choose to go to them. But as long as like the lowest tier like the lowest charge option is like still of decent quality and available to everyone, then I think it doesn't matter what you have past that.
I will say, I don't know if it's just Oklahoma. I think it's maybe the U.S. in general, but Oklahoma is definitely one of the worst states. And the lowest tier is like absolute shit. Like it's not even worth it. Like what is within
medical service or mental health service?
Mental health.
Okay.
Yeah, it's total shit. Like, it's not even. I've like had worse situations. Like I've had my health be made worse by the options that I have, by the people that I've had to see.
Yikes.
Yeah,
Do you think
I've seen like 7 different psychiatrists within like a I don't know, like a 6-month time frame at one point, and they were all fucking awful. I didn't have anyone consistent.
Were they private practice, or were these through like government funded organizations, or like nonprofit?
Government funded.
Okay.
And just our minimum wage is $7.25. I'm like, no, unless you're like wealthy, like no one has that. Like that's just across the board. I feel like in the U.S., but it's really bad here.
Yeah. You know, if you are working in private practice, you can take people's insurance. It's not only for people paying out of pocket, but you have to be of a certain caliber of license to be able to do that. So you're likely to be more highly educated, but competence and education are often not the same thing. Right, Edgar?
Yeah.
Somewhat correlated, but not one-to-one.
Oh. So you can have a lot of grade A idiots, as we put it. Like a title and credentials don't mean anything if they've never really had any interactions with clients, or if they only know like one little way of interacting with their clients. It's like, oh.
If it makes you feel better, I know that happens across fields, not just in psychiatry, but like everything from psychiatry to engineering, that is a problem. I know people who work in both of these industries, and or multiple industries, and that is a problem across the board. You have like the A+ high tier students, and then you get them into a job position, and they just fucking suck.
Edgar, did you just like all out of your ship?
No, I landed on my ship and then it was swept away by the storm and now it's glitched up there.
Oh no.
I can't get back on my ship and I die in 17 minutes because of the cold.
I have actually a really good question from my buddy Rams. He said, I don't know if y'all talked about this, but he asked the dude what he thinks about online therapy, like the shit that YouTubers be pushing. Like what is it? Better Help or whatever? Like those type of services that YouTubers push, the online therapist, free.
So
how do we feel about that?
I mean, there's nothing inherently wrong with doing telehealth work, right? When I was working in my practice, I would do some online sessions, partially because it was during the pandemic, but also because I was living, in Western Europe, and a lot of my clients were in different countries, right? And if I were to restrict myself only to the people I could see in person, my business has a very low ceiling of growth, right? And telehealth as practice is, I prefer to be in person, especially because all of the work I do now is in person, but it's certainly doable. But the stuff that I've seen YouTubers talk about, like the BetterHelp stuff, I haven't really looked into it, honestly. So I don't know what the quality or restrictions are about like who can sign up for, providing treatment through that. Like I know that they do say you have to be licensed, but like I said, licensure between states can vary a lot. And some of those licensure programs don't require very strict credentials behind them, like in terms of the university credits. Like, in our state, it's obviously KCREP, that accreditation from your program that's required. Again, I'm not giving a straight answer here, and I don't mean to do that. I'm not fully aware of the issue, so I'm not going to say, oh, it's trash, but I also am sort of skeptical of it because it seems less regulated to me. But that doesn't mean that telehealth therapy sessions done online.
You want me to be straight up about it?
Yeah, please do.
I think that this is.
You'll get both sides here. You'll get my side, and then you'll get Edgar's. He'll just give you a straight answer.
I think this is where we're probably going to have different opinions. But honestly, if you're in the U.S., why don't you just make it a standardized licensing requirement for your psychology field? Like,
is there no standardized?
Because like every state is different in their like licensing requirements. And let's say that you're a 10-year LPC therapist from like Oklahoma and you move to California. Guess what? You're probably gonna have to start back off as a beginner therapist, getting supervision to try and get that LPC licensure again, because it's not standardized at all. Like if I were to go to the Netherlands, right, and I get their licensure, I'm licensed all across the nation there. I don't have to go county by county trying to get like
Yeah.
a new license because of that. But like if, for example, BetterHelp or any of those things, if they're more because I've seen a lot of companies do this where they have to get people with specific like LPC or licensed marriage, family therapist, or so on and so forth. And then they go into a business trust, right? So like a private business area with the business trust, they're able to operate in like all states because sadly it's a loophole that is in the US. And that's how they're able to go ahead and do it. But here's my number one thing. One of the big complaints that I've heard about BetterHelp and whatnot is that the therapists don't stay for the full hour. So like there's
Oh.
constant canceling, rescheduling, all of that happening without any actual like information as to why behind it, and it feels kind of impersonal.
Yeah, I was
That's
sorry.
what I've heard.
Yeah, I've heard a little bit of that, but I've also heard a lot of times like either lack of professionalism or like people are skeptical whether these are actual like licensed people. So what I just did is I tried to go onto the BetterHelp website and see like what the application process was. I can't get past this because I don't want to put in all my stuff to like create an account. But then they said, so I just put in like a few things and it basically just asks like, what are you licensed in? And you could click one of like 5 options. But then it says create your account as a therapist so we can start processing your application. So I don't know how much goes past this in terms of application, like what they do past that. But like the first like step was like really easy. Like,
Well, but think about it like this, right? So if I'm working at a place like I'm working at right now, right, my licensure is validated against whatever my state's board is, because every state has their own licensing board.
they do ask for your state, what state you're licensed in.
Sorry?
They asked, one of the questions is what state are you licensed in?
Oh, Arizona, but my licensure is still like pending, but that's also because I'm coming from out of country,
Okay.
right? So I had my practice in the Netherlands, and bringing it to America, they don't just give you a license, you know. So I'm working in, but you can work under someone who is licensed.
Yeah.
And get supervised, yeah.
As supervision, right? So that's the only reason my license is still pending. It's just because it's coming from out of country.
Gotcha.
But for example, right, anyone who's getting a job, like your organization has to validate that with the board of behavioral health for whatever state that is. I don't know what it's like if you just send in an application to BetterHelp, whether they contact your state's board and validate that licensure. And if BetterHelp gets audited, let's say there's a liability case with one of the patients, you know, who that goes down to, like who's actually in the hot water there. I really don't know how that goes. And I kind of just shrug off that stuff because I'm like, that's never going to be for me, because it seems kind of, I don't want to say suspect, but like I'd rather go the official route.
Yeah.
Because it's more secure for me. It's more secure for the patients or clients. And you know, I do think it's a good idea to get mental health treatment to everyone, especially, you know, people who otherwise wouldn't. But I don't know what the quality bar is. But also, those are not the same thing as competence, right? There's a lot of LPSWs, LPCs, all these things who could be incredibly incompetent as therapists, and you know, they could have their doctorate and be incompetent. Like,
yeah, of course.
My thing is, if BetterHelp is licensed as a business trust or under a business thing, even if you take their services, whatnot, and you get a shitty therapist and you want to sue that individual, you're probably not going to be able to. You're probably going to have to go against a team of lawyers against the company itself.
Yeah,
like not
even
the individual.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
That's kind of, actually I always wondered about that, is like if you had issues with like because is BetterHelp free? I feel like it's like or at least like the lowest tier is free, isn't it?
So, like, I don't think so.
Is it not?
I don't think so. No, I think it costs like $60, I believe.
Oh,
or
really?
more.
Probably down to who you're seeing, whether they, you know, are independently, because there's a difference between having your license and being independently licensed. You have an independent licensure, which would allow you to, let's say, have your private practice. So what I'm wondering is if behind the scene of BetterHelp, like when you sign on and you're looking at therapists and you're about to choose one, the pricing model is probably dependent on what kind of licensure they have. So maybe they could take insurance, maybe they don't.
I don't think they do. I doubt it. I think they're supposed to just be a cheap alternative online option. So like, I was gonna say, if they don't charge money, can you necessarily sue them? But I guess you could sue them like if they made your mental health worse. But I don't know if you like, can you sue somebody who's not taking your money? Like you're just doing online therapy. Could you necessarily sue them if they like don't do what they were promised?
Yeah, you can sue them for malpractice.
Okay.
So like, even in that regard, say Brady was given free therapy, and say that he was licensed, you suing him could probably puts his license at risk immediately. Like they'll do investigation into his notes and all of that.
I have a question then for the particular streamers we've talked about who do therapy through their streaming. Could someone sue them for that?
Wait,
yeah, yes, they can. My thing is, you also have to prepare yourself because like there's a lot of psychologists out there. Actually, I think almost any psychologist worth their dollar will tell you that what they're doing is therapy on stream, right? But I think if I'm gonna be 100% real with you, there's a lot of politics at work inside of the APA and whatnot, where for example, we don't have to go that far. In Johnny Depp's case, right? The psychologist that was with like what was her name? Amber?
Yeah.
That's like a part of the APA board was administering the wrong test on purpose, and yet her license will never be revoked.
Yeah, of course.
Brady does the wrong test, and he'll never be able to be a psychologist ever again. Like the standards are, insane. That's the best way to put it.
Yeah, but I was just gonna say, because like there's a certain someone put it in my chat, the initials of the person, but I was wondering if someone like could if like the family of a certain person could sue them for things that have happened.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. Honestly, the board who like the board that person's licensed under would most likely in most cases make an inquiry because it is objectively therapy. Like you can call it something else, but it is. And like Edgar said, like literally any psychologist would tell you that it is. That's not to say that it's not good practice. Like like the therapy itself isn't of high quality, but it
just the means in which it's delivered.
The delivery is inappropriate.
Yeah. Unethical.
Well, my thing with that is
potentially illegal too. I don't know about that.
My thing is, why is a psychiatrist doing therapy?
Is he a psychiatrist?
Psychiatrists can also have psychological training. Like being a psychiatrist,
very limited.
But I thought this person was a psychologist, not a psychiatrist.
But you can be both. There's like if I'm a therapist right now and I would get my doctorate in psychiatry, then it's not like I've lost my psychological training just because I have become a psychiatrist too.
Where does
he's a psychiatrist.
He's a psychiatrist.
I thought he was a psychologist. That's my bad.
Well, you could be both, but you're not automatically a psychologist just because you're a psychiatrist. But you could have training in both. I mean, I don't know specifically about theirs, but
my thing is looking at the way that he asks questions and delivers questions and whatnot, which is very rough if you've seen it, and trying to mask it as though it's not.
Well, I'm not that part of it.
I really want to know. Can someone just send it to me privately in Discord?
I'll send it to you in Discord.
It's not the way a trained psychologist asks questions. That's not the way that
part of it.
Oh, you can not touch it. I don't give a fuck. I'm not gonna be political about it. I'm just gonna be straight up about it. Like, I'm sorry, but a trained psychologist worth their dollar actually knows how to navigate the field and not necessarily stir up shit. Because I believe a trained psychologist wouldn't even start using that practice into it,
Wait, hold
right? Like,
on. Now I gotta ask, because if this person's a psychiatrist and not a psychologist, and isn't trained to deliver therapy, then is it malpractice if he engages it? Like, if I went on stream and was like, I don't have any training in therapy, but I was like, quote unquote, like therapizing someone on stream, it wouldn't be unethical because I'm not beholden to any board of psychological practice. Whereas if he's a psychiatrist, like he's not beholden to like a psychologist board.
he'd
Because
be
he
into
doesn't.
a psychiatry board.
Yeah, but he's not doing psychiatry on stream, right? Like psychiatry is completely different than psychology. So if he's like engaging in a therapeutic manner, then like, but psychiatrists don't do that. So he's not like breaking his code of ethics. Not that I don't agree with like that. I say what he's doing is right, but what I'm saying is it's not necessarily going against what he's.
You can't practice psychology without either having a license to be a therapist or working directly under someone who is supervised and is providing supervision under a license.
Yeah, but he's not a psychologist, right? So like, if I like, let's say I was on. What I'm saying is like,
any trained mental health professional cannot.
Oh, okay.
You're not allowed just because you're a psychiatrist to provide therapy, structured intervention-based therapy.
Okay.
But like I said,
but even
I don't know his background. He might also have psychological training. I mean, I know, what
I feel like that is so much politics, Brady. Like you're like.
I'm being honest. Like I've seen the interventions they use, and he has training in, how to be a therapist. Like you don't get that training by being a psychiatrist.
Yeah.
Whether or not the interventions are good or whether they fit your standards, I'm not going to get into that. But
you see, that's where it's at, though.
But you can't, you don't just learn that stuff for free just by learning psychiatry. So I think that he probably does have psychological training.
I was about to say, yeah, you do. Psychiatry classes. Well, so one of the first things is just essentially humanistic methods. Like quite literally is supposed to be humanistic methods, but a lot of psychiatrists are like robots.
Isn't psychiatry also a master's program? It's not an undergrad, so you could still have like a degree in psychology and then do a psychiatry master's.
Correct.
Yeah.
Because that's how you move up, right?
Yeah.
But even through psychiatry, right? Because my thing is, I'm sort of glad that at least I haven't seen anything where he's recommending specific medication or going through a medication list.
That would be extremely illegal.
I was about to say, because if I heard any of that, I'd be like,
wait, sorry, say that again. What was it?
He's not recommending any medication to people he talks to.
Or asking about.
Because
asking about their medications that they're taking.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah, because they're like doing therapy on stream. To me, it's very black and white, but to a lot of people, it could look very gray. Where it's like, no, we're just having a conversation. This is just talking, and I just happen to have this knowledge in the back of my head. But like, if you know what therapy looks like, that's what it looks like. Mm-hmm. But it's still a gray area. It's not a gray area to start talking medication. That would be strictly very highly illegal and not ethical.
No, that was happening. So like, because my question was like, okay, so for me, right, I have no training in psychology. I have no like, I'm not beholden to any board. But if I started working with someone on stream and started like talking in a therapeutic manner or in a therapist type setting, right, but because I don't have any formal training, and I'm not a therapist, it wouldn't necessarily be considered unethical because I'm not working as a therapist with this person, right? So I'm saying
it actually would. It would.
Yeah.
Actually.
Wait, why?
Because it is still illegal to provide counseling as an unlicensed person, whether or not you have the training or not. Yeah, if you were speaking to someone in a therapeutic manner and like giving them therapy, even though you have no training, you're not under any board, it's still illegal.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Now I gotta look up.
That's not the same as like just giving someone advice and just having a conversation with someone. But how
would you like determine that to an average person? Because like with like if you have
specific use of interventions.
So like you would have to
interventions being very specific things like using grounding techniques, using immediacy, kind of like the technique that I talked about before, where you're replacing the subject with a metaphor and like using that for therapeutic means, right? It is a little bit like you know it when you see it. That's why it's still kind of a gray area, but the law is about use of specific interventions. So, for example, right, there's a guy on YouTube whose channel is called Therapy Gecko,
Mm-hmm.
and he's a guy, and he's just a random guy. He's not a therapist, and he dresses up like a gecko, right, in a full body gecko mascot suit, and he paints himself green. And what he does is he takes callers, right? He has an anonymous phone call line, and his channel is called Therapy Gecko, but he always says, "I'm not a therapist. This is not therapy. I will talk to you and give you advice, but if you think that this is therapy, it's not. And if you feel like you need it, go get it, because like this is just a kind of a persona thing."
Yeah.
And anytime I've ever seen him take a call he feels like is suitable for therapy, he recommends that. He's not doing anything unethical here, because he's not a therapist, and he never has
and he's
pretended
declining
what he's doing is therapy.
And he'll decline people where in senses where it's like
He will,
too close to therapy.
When he feels like it's a subject that warrants actual therapeutic processing, he recommends that, and he's like, I'm just a dude in a gecko costume. Like, and the channel is great. I honestly find it really funny, but he breaks character for moments like that, and it's like, go get a therapist.
Yeah.
I'm not a therapist.
But
I don't know what I'm talking about.
Moist Master said, no, it'd be illegal to open up a psychology ward and treat people in a formal setting if you don't got a license. So yeah, like how would someone determine that, like, if you're just talking to someone on stream, like, it would be really hard to draw a hard line, like, especially if the person's not licensed or has no like psychological training, to say that this person like is doing.
I would say that one or two conversation with someone and you talk in a way that is including slight interventions, there's no harm in this, right? It's the continued dialogue that is building on issues where it's like you're meeting with them once in a while, and like the subject is resuming from where it left off, and like it becomes the therapeutic context. Like if we sit on a conversation, you and I happen to ask you something that is similar to how I would ask it as a therapist, but we're just talking, this isn't therapy. Therapy is like continued focused processing where I'm building interventions. We're talking privately off stream about the issues. I'm giving you, therapeutic homework, and like it's that kind of stuff where it's like, and that does, it gets into the gray area, because it's like, well, this is just an interview, we're just talking one time. But it's still like it's one of those things. If you're a therapist and you look at that and you see it, you're like, okay, this is not therapy, because it's just one time and it's not the structure, but that the person in their head is thinking as a therapist right now. They're not thinking as a friend doing an interview. They're thinking as a therapist. You can tell.
Gotcha.
But that's why no one can really stop it, because it's not crossing that line really, but it is.
Okay.
Oh, I was about to say,
I want to also look into like the exact legality. Sorry, just not to cut you off, Ed, but I was like,
legally, it's not. Although it maybe should be, but ethically, it is 100%
yeah, because like you said, like it'd be illegal for me to even give therapy to someone on stream. But like if you, I don't know if you'll have like a link to like anywhere where it states that in like a criminal code, but if you do know where I could find that information, I would like to look into it to see.
I actually do.
Oh shit! Okay, great, thanks. Because it would be something interesting to go over on stream of like how legal or illegal do we think this behavior is? Oh, and we won't do it tonight, but just so I can read it in the future.
We have that pulled up for like 10 minutes, Brady, like ready to go.
Yeah, Brady's.
No, but I work in the mental health field in a state and country that I am not familiar with, and you can be sure I looked a lot of this up before coming here.
Yeah.
So that I know I'm not doing anything wrong.
Smart, good play. Especially when you're streaming and like you stream about mental health topics, it's good to like know very, very specifically what you can and cannot do.
Yes, exactly.
Well, my thing is, as therapists, especially like hearing other people, just by the way that they use language, like you can very easily tell, like, oh, okay, you're trying to use an intervention. Um, like, why, dude?
Mm-hmm.
Like, huh? Let me take a moment to take that in, or like, am I stating this correctly? Like, yeah, all of this like weird empathetic shit. You're just like, wait a minute, all right, dude. Like, there's a difference between normally the way you would talk with your friends versus the way a therapist would talk or the way a therapist would ask questions.
Yeah, or interact with information that you're giving them.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
It gets tricky because it does just come down to, well, there's nothing different about just talking to someone and maybe talking in a psychological way, but it's like, well, you have to get very clear, and they have, it's different state to state,
Mm-hmm.
what constitutes therapy. And that's why it's like just sitting on the line between like pitch black and gray. It's just like right on the line where it's
Yeah.
like, well, we're just doing an interview, and I'm just informed about psychology enough to interview you
Yeah.
using this background. And it's like one step, one small step, and that line has been crossed.
Because yeah, also,
And you are past it.
so I have well, I don't know if you guys are gonna be able to, because this is like really legal now. So like, for most criminal actions, you have to have like the mens rea upon the actus reus to like be convicted of a crime, right? So if you're someone who's not psychologically trained and have no experience in therapy or psychological training at all, right? And you accidentally engage in therapy online just by perchance, like someone like me, if I started doing it online and didn't realize, would you be able to prosecute on that, considering you don't have the mens rea yeah.
No, because like you can't accidentally do therapy.
Well, that's what I'm saying, because you said like if someone like me like if I like was doing therapy on stream, but like I have no psychological training, I have no like a training in therapy, and was like acting in a therapeutic way on stream, it would be illegal.
Like you wouldn't be able to, because like you don't have the training to be able to do.
So there has to be some training
the therapeutic
there. Okay.
processing. I mean, like I guess
Like,
an
let's say by
infinite number
random
of
chance, right? Like,
timelines.
yeah.
An infinite number of timelines. There's one where someone accidentally says everything the way a therapist would, and they're
Yes.
just. But like, it's just going to be unlikely. It's like me accidentally hitting 10 home runs in a row.
No, I agree.
I guess it's possible, but like, it's a specific kind of process that you start doing, and it involves starting from a very specific place, right?
Yeah.
That's why you do an intake and you build a psychological profile and do stuff.
It's just more of like an interesting hypothetical when it comes to like the legal setting. So like someone like, it's like the hypothetical, like a monkey could type like words for like, X amount, like infinite years, and you would have like Shakespeare written in there somewhere, because like if they were just completely randomizing their vocabulary, that you would eventually write Shakespeare, right? I think it's the same thing here. Like, let's say someone like randomized their words and like accidentally committed therapy on somebody accidentally committed therapy online with like a person that they're talking to in a streaming setting, and like could you necessarily prosecute, because they don't have the I don't know if you could, because they don't have the mens.
I don't think you could prosecute them,
because there's no intent.
There's no intention there. But my favorite version of that hypothetical, and it's not even a hypothetical actually, it comes from my favorite television show of all time, Person of Interest, where he's giving a lecture on pi, right? The mathematical pi.
Yeah.
And he's talking about how like the integers of pi run on forever, as far as we know, and they never repeat.
Yeah.
Patterns never repeat. So technically, if you were to, write out all of pi, you would have every number that ever existed. And if you took all of those numbers and exchanged them for letters, you would have, every single story ever written.
Oh.
You would have your entire life story from beginning to end written with those integers. Your name, your birthday, everyone you've ever loved, all the history of the whole universe, infinitely, just in the distance between the circumference and the center of a circle. I was like, it's so fucking good.
Ooh, Moist Master is disagreeing with that statement. It's not proven.
It is a hypothetical. We don't know that the numbers don't repeat.
Oh, those are called normal numbers, and pi is not proven to be normal. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't written out every number of pi. It's just the idea that from what we know now, technically it looks like it would probably repeat forever without it would go forever without repeating a specific sequence. That's not to say that
as we know pi is it like what we understand pi to be right now, this hypothetical works.
Vaguely, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. I do like that.
It's less fun. It's less about the math and more about like the
concept.
Yeah, the concept.
Interesting. I still like the monkeys better because I think it's really funny to think about my monkeys typing for infinite years and eventually Shakespeare pops out. I don't know. I like that one a little bit better just because of that.
Yeah, no, it's true. But yeah, I mean, it'd be like me accidentally winning a World Series. Like, I guess I would actually, get the trophy for it, but
that one's a little less likely than someone accidentally committing therapy.
I know.
Fuck.
I'm so mean to you. I'm so sorry. All the time. It's always just me shit. Like, I'll sit here and shit on Brady for like 2 hours of stream for no reason.
He loves it.
I know.
He loves it.
I know.
Okay, I know I've like brought her up before, like thinking about Teal Swan. What about the people who are like actually doing therapy, who aren't therapists and who are just like getting away with it and who have like actually had people kill themselves? Like, I think Teal Swan has had like
straight up illegal.
So I mean, yeah, like I don't know how she's not. I don't know how it like she just is a public speaker and basically a cult leader.
Who is that?
Teal Swan. I think I sent her to you all one night, and I think you all watched her on stream, or at least maybe.
Maybe so. I'm not sure.
We watched it like a long time on stream. She was the one talking about like healing your inner child. I remember this. Oh, thank you, the Ryan, for the follow.
Get me started on the inner child stuff.
Yeah, it was she was the one who talked a lot about like heal your inner child to like figure everything out. Like all of your psychological issues will be fixed if you like work on, fixing your relationship with your inner child.
Their inner child work is a thing, but it's not a catch-all solution to every single mental health problem. That's
also, as far as I know, working with your inner child isn't about actually like going into your head and trying to talk to your inner child, which is how a lot of people online present it. They're like, you need to. No,
it actually is.
Is it?
It is actually, well, not going in your head, but you could do an empty chair.
They like talk about it as like, talk like actually with your inner child.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I've actually, this is a very valid technique, not pertaining specifically to inner child, but any past version of yourself that you have regrets about, having them sit in front of an empty chair and open this dialogue, and what you will find is often that conversation starts off a certain way and ends a very different way, because what they realize is they have stopped humanizing and empathizing with their past selves, and it is a very valid technique. It's a Gestalt technique. But again, it's a narrow application sort of thing. And the inner child stuff that I see online is really more just like, this will solve everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like inner child work or empty chair, Gestalten, psychology, these are techniques, but the holistic angle on inner childism makes it sound like this is a comprehensive theory in the same way that, like Freudian psychology is a comprehensive theory. It tries to explain everything, and also provides the structure to intervene on it. Well, it's not that.
I know we all hate Freud, but God, I will never stop loving how insane that much. Every time I hear a new fact about Freud, I am so much more intrigued by this person. I wish he was alive today just so I could talk, because everything I find out about him is just worse and worse. This man lived his life psychotically. Anyway, sorry, that was my little tangent, but yeah.
Just saying too, like, I want to say reading, but I've mainly been listening to an audiobook of Jung. And I just like love hearing him shit on other psychologists. He's like, this is how they were wrong. Like, that is my favorite thing. He's like, let me tell you all about it.
Same. He's one of my favorites. Sorry?
Did he study under Freud for a while, and then he was like, fuck this guy.
Pretty much.
Do my own because I'm smarter.
He was one of a few like proteges with Freud, and he not only split from Freud, but Freud did everything he could to like.
They got into dick measuring contests. Let's be real.
Freud tried to silence any branching off of his theories, and so he tried to suppress Jung. He tried to.
Oh, that's right.
I forget who else it was, but like the early psychologists.
Who did Skinner? Did no? That was never mind. Oh, Ram's in with another good question. What's y'all's thoughts on online celebrities having breakdowns online? Does the chase for staying relevant have anything to do with it? Hot take.
Well, there's a certain you know what, Edgar, you give your answer first, because mine's not going to be a straight answer anyways.
I love how you like.
I was like about to start, but
I know. I was like, oh, here it goes.
I guarantee I have an interesting answer, but it's not going to be maybe.
Well, my thing is it depends, right? It depends, and I'll give you 2 reasons why. It's still going to be more direct
than anything you've said today, okay?
Yeah, because at any point, if it's like a celebrity, they have a PR team. Nothing you see won't come from that PR team.
Yeah,
that's actually where I was going to go with it too.
So
as an online person, you have a certain facade. You are wearing a mask of an entertainer. You don't accidentally sit down with your camera and your lighting and just start having a breakdown when you film your apology YouTube video.
What? You don't?
No, you don't. Now, people do have real breakdowns, especially if it's a live content, right? Mm-hmm. Let's say you're streaming or something. But that's not to say that you're not still wearing your mask as an entertainer or as a content creator. Like addressing your platform and any kind of damage control you're doing. Mm-hmm. Well, what kind of breakdown are we talking about? Because my breakdown, when I hear that, mine's going to like I did something wrong and now I have to apologize for it. But a breakdown could also just be, overwhelming pressure and expectation.
No, we're talking like a full-on like crying mental breakdown, acting insane on camera kind of thing. Like
Coney 2012. Like the guy who did the Coney 2012 mission, and he had a severe mental breakdown, and had like gone out into the street naked and like lost his mind. He had a mental break. Don't you remember this?
Okay, I remember the Coney 2012, but it was all a scam. Who is this dude?
It's like relating to like the dude in like Uganda.
The guy in Uganda. The Coney was like the warlord, but the program or the mission, Invisible Children, who came to my school as well. At some point. But the guy who was running it, I forget his name, he just got so overwhelmed with the response of it, and it's not that it was 100% a scam, like that this mission never existed, but it got way too much traction, way too fast, and they didn't know what to do with it, and they did mismanage the funds. But it wasn't a scam in the way that like they set this up to just cash out, right? But
didn't the whole Coney 2012 thing turn out to be like fake though? Like there was no like the Coney guy wasn't even like there was nothing actually going on.
Well, the people running it were hilariously misinformed.
Yeah.
But it's not like he doesn't exist, Coney, and it's not like they didn't think at one point that they were going to get funding to take him out, but the pitch was not totally honest about like what they could really do about it, what the funding would go to, like all that stuff. It ballooned into being quite scam-like, and like they were totally uninformed about the situation with Coney, like had no idea where it really was. But that's all aside from the guy who created the program had a mental breakdown and like ran out into the street naked and was like attacking the street like smacking the ground. Like, and he talked about it later that he had a severe mental break, like a psychotic break, like a genuine one.
Okay, yeah, we're talking about that kind of psychotic break.
Yeah, that was from online pressure, basically. Like, he never probably expected the reaction to Coney being so quick, and he just got so much more money than he knew what to do with, and knew he couldn't actually carry out any of the objectives. And
yeah, I don't think we're talking about like people like that. I think like the Gabby Hanna, and I know you haven't seen her, was a good example. But like on TikTok, she was just posting video after video after video for like 2 days straight, like 24 or 48 hours, and it was like hundreds of videos posted to her TikTok of her just acting crazy. And she does have mental health issues, but she's also known for like doing things to like garner attention. Or like people like Trisha Paytas, it's the same thing where it's like you never really know what's like.
Oh, don't even get me started on Trisha.
Yeah, but like it's like these people who
God.
like you can't really tell if like what they're doing is real or fake, or how they're behaving is real or fake. And like, do you think there's like some level like of social media playing into like people acting more crazy than they are in order to like gain attention from public? And how do you think that's affecting like mental health within like younger generations, and how they view and behave under mental health conditions?
I mean, it's pretty bad.
I'm eating another piece of turkey.
That's as straight as I get. It's pretty bad.
Oh, thanks, Tina.
It's a pretty bad situation. I mean, the state of online perception of mental health is very bad. Like, it feels like it's degrading too.
Ed, do you have any? Ed, I want to hear your thoughts on Trisha Paytas now. How you feel about that? What are your? I want to hear these stories.
Hold on. Rex, do you like Joji?
Yes, I love Joji.
Do you know him as Filthy Frank?
I do know the Filthy Frank stuff.
What are your thoughts?
I didn't watch enough of it to care, and also, I feel like it's, when enough time has passed and someone's clearly grown past like a certain era of their content, I like start to let it go a little bit. But like, I know he was really edgy and stupid, but I don't know enough of like the really bad stuff to like have a strong opinion on Joji.
I think he still defends it though, which like I don't know enough about it, but I know he like says like he's like firm in that it's satire, which again I don't know enough, but I mean I don't think he's necessarily
but that's what he did say. It was a satirical character to make fun of people who actually did act like that in real life, right? Like it was this character that he made that like was supposed to actually like mock people who acted like that or who had those beliefs. Yeah.
I'm just curious. I'm not going in for or against. I'm just curious.
Wait, why? What are your opinions?
I like Joji. I like Filthy Frank. Don't get me wrong. I think Filthy Frank actually represented a lot of like internet humor at that time. Like, oh crap, I'm out in space. Oh,
well, back in 2016, the internet was very edgy, much more edgy than it is now. And I think people forget that. I swear to God, all the cancellations that happen over like old content, I'm like, half this shit is from 2016. Half of you kids weren't on the internet in 2016, you fucking 9-year-olds. Like, the shit was like really common. And I'm not even that old, but I remember like back in 2012 to 2016, like the content that was on the internet was so intensely edgy and insane. You can go back and watch like the most like left-wing streamers like content from like 2012 to 2016, and the shit people said was insane by today's standards, but at the time it was completely normal because that's just how content was at the time, because that was what was popular like behavior online. That's what garnered like attention. That was what was considered funny. But now we look on it 6 years later, and because like the social culture has changed so much, all of a sudden it's like, oh, this person was horrible. And it's like, no one fucking thought. Like, I'm sorry. Everyone shits on Shane Dawson, and he's done some fucked up shit. But like his old comedy sketches used to get so much attention, and I know half these motherfuckers who canceled him probably watched him back in 2009 on his early YouTube videos that were shitty comedy skets and laughed at it. I know you did. Don't fucking lie to me. I know enough people who laughed at that shit back in like 2009 to 2012. They laughed at his comedy skits, which are now like, yeah, we can acknowledge that they might be racist or they might play on bad stereotypes. But that's just the way the internet culture was. And that's not to say it's okay, but when everything was like validating it at the time, you can't expect people to grow in that environment because like there was nothing to grow because no one was giving you pushback on that content at the time, right? Sorry, very strong opinions on this.
Get out and not give someone the chance to like own it and then like move forward and like learn from it and implement like just like be more aware of social change and actually like make a conscious effort to not be an asshole. But I don't think it's fair to just drag people. It's like you're done for forever. I don't know. I think there's certain circumstances, I guess. Like I don't like predators like can fuck right off for all eternity.
Somebody who like if you hurt children, that's probably a little different. But like I even see online now so much so that like people don't believe other people can change. Like, and I'm on like the politics side of Twitch a lot. So there's certain streamers, like there's a guy named Hunter Avalone who used to do like right-wing content in politics. And over the last like 3 to 4 years, he's actually like changed politically to become much more left-wing because he started to like question a lot of his beliefs that he grew up with. And he's like, you know what? I actually don't know if I stand for any of this stuff anymore. And he actually completely changed his content because he had like a big revelation in his life, went through a lot of changes, learned a lot of stuff. And he's like, you know what? I'm like, you know, my views don't align on this side anymore. And he changed his content. But there's like any time he makes like the tiniest mistake on his stream or says something that's not left wing enough, people on Twitter like lose their minds. They're like, oh, he's still right wing. He never actually changed. It's just all a grift. Like, you know, you can't change. Like these right wingers are always the same. Like he's just did it for money. Like, and it's like, dude, he said one thing you slightly don't agree with, and you're just calling him a grifter who's still a right wing. Like this dude literally BTFO'd his channel. Like his channel, like he lost probably half of his viewership because they were all right wing. Like a shit ton of his income, all of his streamer friends, like because they were all right wing, all of his all his money like was down. And it's like, why the fuck? Why are you calling it a grift? He gained nothing from like switching.
Wait, they were white winged or right winged?
Right wing. Right.
Oh, okay. Just making sure.
No. But that's what I'm saying. Is like people online just like lost their minds anytime he says something he says something that like is not like either left wing enough like for the online political sphere, and then they'll still call him like, and it's like people A need time to grow and change, but B is like if you assume that every person who grows and changes didn't actually grow and change, you're never giving anyone a chance to actually change, because you're gonna assume that anytime they fuck up that person is like still the same as they were before, even though they might just still be going through a growing period, or they just might not have changed like exactly to how you want them to be now. I don't know. I just feel like more and more online I see like people are unwilling to let people grow or change their values or their beliefs without being extremely, extremely, extremely hesitant or like just outright disregarding the ability to grow. Also, there was a lot of debates between Hunter and Vosh. If you are referencing a specific one, you can send it to me and I will watch it. But I have watched a lot of their content together. Oh, like the original one that changed them? Yeah, I did see that one, if that's the one you're talking about. Sorry, I was replying to a comment. My rant is over.
Dream.
Any comments, Brady? You look very...
I really didn't watch a lot of those like early YouTube people. I mean, I watched Bo Burnham. Mm-hmm. And like, you know, at that time, let's say 2008, 2009, like humor in general was a lot different, and the terminology people used was a lot different, and you know, what was acceptable then isn't now, and like, you know, owning up on that stuff isn't easy. If any of you have seen Inside, Bo Burnham's special on Netflix, he even has like one of his skits is about like owning up to the things he said in like dumb jokes when he was an early content creator before that was even a thing. You know, that's like one of the first big ones, and it's a hilarious, honest, funny way to address it, and I think that's like as good as it gets, you know. And now, but his stuff was never so edgy that, you know, it's like really cancelable. It's more like
that
of the era.
Nice. Yeah,
it was of the era, and like, you know, yeah, it's stupid when you look back on it, but like that's what comedy was at the time. Just like saying stuff was gay and, you know, stuff like that. Like,
yeah,
stuff that we don't do anymore, you know,
as much openly.
Exactly. So I forget what the title of that song is, or even if it's on YouTube, but if you haven't seen the special Inside, you should anyway. It's great.
Ed, were you gonna say something?
Oh yeah, I was just curious as to your guys' thoughts on I know this is an old one, but on Twitch's advisory team back when it was filled with individuals that were, I think they labeled themselves as a transspeciest. Like, were you there for this, Shrek? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Was it the wolf person or the doe person?
The doe person, I believe, right?
The
They're
doe?
like doe human.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, that situation's very much more complicated. That was very much intertwined with the political sphere, so I knew a lot about that situation. So I don't think this person was not actually transspeciest, because there are people who are transspeciest. This person just went by like neopronouns that were doe and deer, which the neopronouns and xenogender debate is very controversial.
Yeah, but I'm just curious as to like your thoughts specifically on the whole power issue that was at play, right? Because all of a sudden getting into the advisory team seemed to have enabled a lot of like weird power dynamics.
Wait, the advisory team? What do you mean the advisory team?
Because they were part of the advisory team, right? Like they and a couple streamers were able to go ahead and like advise Twitch to implement certain changes for streamers.
Wait, what? This is not the drama I thought we were about to talk about.
Yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay, wait, now I gotta look this up.
Yeah, at least I'm pretty certain about it.
Advisory word. Let's see that. I'm gonna have to look into this because I did not know about that part. Because this person had a lot of other controversies and a lot of other shit stuff that they did on Twitch with other people.
Well, for example, one of the things that they wanted to go ahead and change was the fact that games enabled communication through voice because you discriminate through voice.
What?
Yeah, that was one of the arguments that was being made at that time, if I remember correctly. Again, if I remember correctly, I was just like, that's okay.
Yikes. Because yeah,
right,
this person got into a lot of, if it's the same doe, like the person who went by doe, deer. Wait, I think I still have him on Twitter. Let's see if I can find, what was their...
You have me thinking of like a choir thing in my head, like a choir warm up, and I'm just like, that's all I can think now.
I know.
They just like heard that and they were like, yes,
Sound of Music, Sound of Music. Fans out there.
It's been a minute since I've seen that one.
Yeah.
That was a classic.
That was a classic. I freaking loved that movie growing up. What was their name? Oh god, now I need to find out.
Hold on, I think I can pull it up.
If you can find it, because if this is the same person that I'm thinking of, this was something I didn't know about, and I could tell you a lot of other shit this person did. Like,
I've never heard of any of this stuff that you guys are talking about.
We're just too terminally online, apparently.
I know.
Well, I mean, if you're gonna be like,
I'm pretty terminally online as well, just not in those areas, I guess.
Mm-hmm. It's just like on certain niches.
Ferociously Steph was their name, their Twitch name, I believe.
Do you have photos? Can you send me these links? Can you send me the link to this? Because I can probably see.
Sure, give me a second.
Yeah.
Here you go.
I didn't even know this person.
Topic. Ollie London, transracial.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Do you know who this
is? Brady's just lost again. Ollie London. Come on, Brady.
All right, sent it to you via DM.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, man, it's a wild one. That's for me to put it. It's a wild situation.
I remember you getting into that whole VTuber thing, the drama behind that or whatever, and you were watching these like 6-hour like recaps, and I'm like, this is a whole universe that just is I'm blind to, like all this drama.
Oh, but like even like some of the other streamers like Miskiff or XQC, like, do you know anything about them, Brady? I'm kind of curious now.
I know
like another world.
I know who XQC is. I know literally nothing else about him or any drama that he's been involved in.
The people I used to live with like loved Miskiff and him, and I'm like, kind of seem a little, maybe not Miskiff as much, but it's like seems a little problematic to me. I don't know if I fuck with these people.
Who?
Miskiff and what is it, XQC?
Yeah, El Goblino.
Wait, what's wrong with those two? Did something happen?
I like them.
Oh, okay.
I was like, I don't know, but I heard XQC say some cringy things before. I just don't think he's my vibe. I don't know about Miskiff though.
I like XQC. He's fine. I don't watch his content, but he seems like a nice enough dude. He doesn't seem like he's anything crazy. He just does a lot of React content.
For the most part,
Maybe
right?
Like,
he's
no.
not out there committing therapy.
Committing therapy. Jesus Christ. We're not going to let that statement go.
No, I actually like it. It's a good way to put it for this context. Like,
Wasn't Miskiff someone though, like who, like before he got big, like used to say just like a bunch of problematic shit?
Miskiff?
He just kind of,
yeah,
that's
so.
what. Just kind of switched, did a little code switching once he got a little bigger.
Oh, maybe. But like sometimes I wonder if like how problematic does it have to be to like be warranting like this person's like not good? Because like again, if he said this stuff like even 3-4 years ago, part of me is like, yeah, the internet was like pretty different even 3, 4, 5 years ago.
That's true.
Like,
what a
I feel like in the last like couple of years we've had like major shifts on like behavior on the internet and like what's acceptable behavior compared to any time before that. Like the consequences were very like lacking, and it was usually people sometimes getting mad at like stupid shit you said, but like a lot of people would just take it jokes as like jokes, and it wasn't as like intensely scrutinized as it is now. So like sometimes when I look back at people's things, as long as you're not saying anything like flamboyantly racist or homophobic, then I'm like, okay, whatever. Like you were probably just an average normie on the internet for most of your life, and now you're trying to adapt to like the new internet standards, I guess. Yeah.
Honestly, even though I don't have like a very big community, like I'm just like worried. I'm like, I feel like I constantly say stupid shit, and then I'm just very sarcastic. So I'm like, you never know what someone's gonna take the wrong way, and so I try to be mindful, but I also have a mouth. Sometimes things just come out.
Yeah.
But none of the phobics. So
I mean,
I think I'm good.
my worst offense is having trash taste every once in a while.
Yep.
According to some.
I'll be honest though.
What?
Maybe this is a bad thing to say on the internet, but like, we grew up in the 2000s. Okay, there was things being said, there was jokes being made that you probably could not make on the internet now. That would be like you'd get canceled immediately.
I growing up in the 90s.
Oh yeah, you guys grew up even earlier. You guys probably said some worse shit than I did. And it's probably shit you don't even remember. It's probably shit you said stupidly out loud.
But there were no iPhones around.
Yeah, exactly. It was just the fact that no one filmed shit back then. So like you had no chance to get canceled because like you just said it with your friends and they all laughed because they all had the same sense of shit humor that we all did back then. And I think that's okay. I think it's okay that we all said stupid, shitty things in our past because we learned stupid, shitty things at the time. And it happens when you're a child and you become ingrained with it. But as long as you start to learn and grow and be like, you know what, maybe that wasn't the best behavior, then it's okay.
I mean, even with certain friends, like I don't know if it's because like I'm queer and like with my other queer friends, we say some shit that like might piss off other queer people because we're like just. I mean, I don't know. I think it's like in our nature to be shady anyway. But yeah, I wouldn't say things that I say to close friends. Like, I mean, yeah, I think that's like code switching again. Sometimes you can like. Obviously, you shouldn't say like hurtful things, but then also, you know, if you're joking, I think like know the setting, know your audience.
That's why I don't think I would ever say like half the shit that I say with friends out loud, because like I have a very, very diverse group of friends, ethnically, and so when we make jokes, a lot of times it's like jokes at the expense of our own cultural groups, and it's like, but it's kind of fun because like we'll all laugh along and it's okay. But like, I think if anyone else heard us joking and like saw half of us joking at certain, like, because I'm Indian, we have like friends in the group that are Vietnamese, other Indian friends, German friends, and we'll make fun of all of us, and it's okay. But it's because we're all okay with it. But I think like it's like stuff that it's like, oh god, if I said this anywhere else, we're like fucked. You know what I mean? So I don't know. It just depends on the context. It's just knowing when and where like those jokes can be made. Like I wouldn't ever say most of that shit on stream just because it's like yeah, you don't want like someone who actually believes like racist shit to hear you say a racist joke and then think that's okay. But with like friends who like understand that this is like contextual behavior, then like you're totally fine because like you guys are all laughing in context at like the person who's probably making a joke about their own culture. Brady, you look so uncomfortable with this whole discussion right now.
Oh, I'm not. I'm also like playing a game separately.
Oh, okay.
From this. I'm just like looking off into the distance.
Wait, what are you doing, Brady?
Brady, I'm doing tarot reading and I'm engaging.
Wait.
Me and Aggie
Look,
are having a great time.
I don't have anything to comment about Rex's admission that she says racist things off stream.
Oh,
why do you make it sound like that?
Judgy about it. Good God.
Brady, what game are you playing?
Like, yeah, Rex is just a blatant racist off stream, of course.
Well, even just by saying what you said, someone's going to take it that context to, oh, well, you just saved the racist stuff for offline.
Yeah.
You're going to ignore all the subtext of what you just said.
You know what? Clip it. All right, clip it, kids. I'm a violent racist off stream.
You know what? Clip it.
I fucking hate everyone's trash.
I'm playing Final Fantasy 11.
Oh, good game.
Which is
online, yeah.
12 years old? No, more than that. Like 14 years old.
Old game.
I think it came out in 2006 or something. It's an old online game.
Final Fantasy?
11, yeah.
Wait, Final Fantasy 11 is that old?
It's pretty old.
It's pretty old, yeah.
I mean,
How many
the original
Final Fantasies have they made
out...
at this point? What number are we on?
Final Fantasy 1 released in 1987. Final Fantasy 11 is from 2002, actually, so it's 20 years old.
I can't believe there's more than one deer person on Twitch, by the way. Because this is not the person I was thinking of.
Oh, it's not?
No. Oh. There's another one. There's 2 deer people on Twitch, apparently. Or there was. I think both of them have left Twitch at this point.
Well, I'm glad you got to check it out, because I was about to say this one, as far as I know, has been like one of the most controversial ones.
Is this in the DSM, or am I about to get canceled for even asking that fucking question?
Wait, it's what?
What?
Is that going to be in the being trans species?
I have no idea, honestly. Is that a thing, Edgar?
Yeah, it's people believing that they're, a species.
Well, I know that it's a thing, but I'm asking if it's in the DSM.
No, it's not in the DSM. Not at all.
Do you think it should be?
What, classified as a mental illness?
Yeah.
Species dysphoria?
That's exactly what I'm thinking.
I believe dysphoria is still a part of that, but like the idea that having a mental illness or what we classify as a disorder inherently means that the thought is delusional is wrong, right? That's what idiots who are like, well, it's in the DSM, so you're delusional about your gender identity. No, dysphoria is just a life-inhibiting level of stress as a result of dysphoria. The same way that, a BPD diagnosis could be given to someone whose self-esteem and inability to form relationships and all kinds of stuff becomes like life-alteringly negative. Mm-hmm. You can have low self-worth and not be depressed, right? Like having a diagnostic code for it just helps us classify how severe, the stress the person is under, basically.
Yeah. Sorry, I got distracted by
So should that one be in there? Probably not. I don't think so.
What, you don't think gender dysphoria should be in the DSM?
No, just the species thing.
Oh, gotcha.
No, dysphoria, I think, is still in there.
Yeah, it's still in there. Do you think it should be in there, though?
Well, yeah, like I said, having dysphoria does not mean you're incorrect thinking about your gender identity. It's when your dysphoria becomes life impactingly negative,
Mm-hmm.
and knowing how to treat that, the kind of identity issues that someone is having. It's not making a judgment on whether or not the dysphoria is accurate or not. It's just
Yeah. No, that's fair.
talking
I
about
think
how treatable it is.
that's a good way to understand it, because I think a lot of people think that like once you have a mental health disorder, it's like something that needs to be like treated
No.
in certain ways, and I think that's why a lot of people have issues with like transitioning as a treatment for dysphoria. But it actually makes a lot of sense, because if your dysphoria is having a mismatch between your brain and body, then it would make sense to try to make one match the other. And as far as we know right now, there's no way to make the brain match the body, so it's easier to make the body match the brain. And it seems like that's what transition is like you're trying to make one section be congruent with another section of your body. And so
Yeah.
when it comes to like, but like, there might be future treatments where we can make the brain match the body, and if it's cheaper and easier and less painful than transitioning, that'd be great. But currently the only option we have for a lot of people who have this incongruence is just full. Did you meow, or was that your cat?
No, that's my cat.
Okay, I thought you
Brady just meowing.
It just sounded like a very intense meow, and I thought you were meowing at the cat. Sorry, that distracted me really badly. But yeah,
No.
I just think for the transitioning stuff, it's like yeah. He's so cute. I'm getting distracted. Yeah, sorry, that was just basically my whole take on that.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, there are many people who have schizophrenia diagnosis, but they're not insane, like the kind of people that like media portrays schizophrenia as. Like, you can be highly functioning even though you have difficulty with like auditory and visual hallucinations and all kinds of stuff. Like, there is a stigma around disorders, but having a diagnostic code is just for the practitioner's knowledge of how should I treat someone who, let's say, is going through dysphoria, and what sort of concerns might they be having, and what approaches might be appropriate for them.
Yeah.
Is this out of my scope of practice, for example? If I don't have the kind of specialization to deal with severe trauma or PTSD or what we have the term HLOC, right? Higher level of care, HLOC, which like certain diagnostics, diagnoses, because like that's another thing that we never really touched on in the last conversation about like the private versus the public, health and that sort of thing, which is like there's different levels of care, right? There's inpatient, there's outpatient, there's people who have classified with SMI, like serious mental illness, and like someone who has SMI probably doesn't belong in an intensive outpatient setting, right? Because they need a higher level of care than you're currently providing. So with certain diagnoses, that will determine sort of where they go, what kind of treatment they're getting.
That's fair. Have you ever had that situation arise where you've like been signed up with a client and you've like started to talk to them and you've like realized that like this is not something I can handle, this needs to like be sent, you need to like talk to or like be treated by someone who's specialized in this or who has a certain level of like
Probably.
Okay.
Probably.
I try not to make my questions too specific that like you'd have to.
Yeah, I don't want to get too detailed into that kind of question.
Yeah.
But probably I have had times where I'm like, does this person maybe need more than I can give them right now? Sure, yeah, I've had that.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, someone asked also.
But my thought about that versus the protocol for it are like very different.
Oh. Is it harder to do than
just my opinion that someone needs a higher level of care does not necessarily mean that they need one.
Or that they'll receive one, even if they do.
Exactly. So there might have been times where I've thought this person needs a higher level of care than, they're currently getting, but
their insurance won't cover it.
Well, it's not the insurance necessarily. This is too complicated to get into and too specific. but yeah, let's just say that
because he's gaming.
It's happened. like the question has happened in my brain.
Interesting. Also, to Moist Master, Ferociously Steph wasn't the one you're talking about. No, I don't know if you watch a lot of the. I mean, you know who Hunter and Bosch are, but that person that interacted with that community, and specifically interacted with Demon Mama a lot. If you know who that is, then that's the person I thought we were talking about at the time. Oh shit.
Yeah, I thought you were talking about Ferociously Steph. That's why I was like, oh shit.
I now know who this person is because I have heard of them somewhat, but this is not the person I was thinking of. Unless they just really like got a lot of surgery and it's not this, and it is the same person. There was someone interacting with them.
He's so cute. Just a
Demon Mama had. Oh
Can you
god.
hear her meowing?
I don't want to get super specific because it feels like shitty.
It feels like shitty.
I don't know. It feels weird to like call people out by name, but like we're also so small that I don't think anyone would ever care.
And even if it did, yo, it's your opinion.
That's true. They're all insane.
Don't you know that starting drama is how you climb
your channel? Yeah, fuck yeah. That's true. That's a good point. We're calling it Dr. K. I mean, I feel like I've said Dr. K enough time on stream at this point that it's like, okay. Gabby Hanna, Trisha Paytas, let's go. Call out everyone today.
Oh shit. We're really picking a war here.
Oh yeah, I'll fight with anyone. I have no fear. Which I probably should, being on the internet. I should have a little bit more, but I really don't.
I'll just tell people, I'll be like, I'm pregnant. You can't come for me. I can come for you, though.
Is that what you're going to do? Use your pregnancy as a defense? I love that. You have it now.
Yeah, you know, I've like, oh yeah, I had been banned from my employer, so I'm going to straight up walk in there pregnant as fuck. Be like, are you going to really not let me buy organic groceries for my child? Because I gave a union worker's number, you motherfuckers. Watch me. Try to trespass me while I'm pregnant. I'll burn the place down.
That's okay. That's why I can fight with any like people on Twitter, which I don't, because I don't use my Twitter to like talk to people. I don't think I've ever posted anything on Twitter. But I'm like, if I did, I could totally use the Twitter points because I was like, I'm gay, I'm a minority, I'm a woman. Like, I'm good. I got every like status.
Okay? Yeah, use it all.
You can't say shit to me anymore. Because apparently that's
my thing is.
That's how
is this turning into a weird like achievement unlocked? Like, I'm part of the Assassin's Guild, therefore you can't attack me.
Dude, that's actually what it feels like on Twitter these days, okay? If you have some type of minority status, you're safe from any criticism.
What?
What did I just walk into?
Just Twitter's not a real place.
It's not, but I'm saying like even in online politics and stuff where I like exist in like my like I've had people come into my chat.
Where you exist.
In my space on Twitch, like when I'm not with you guys, like the space on Twitch that I occupy is very much like that. Where it's very much like if you have a minority status, it is much harder to criticize you, especially if someone weaponizes that minority status against you. Like if you start having a opinion on a certain group of like how like prescriptions for how we should like alleviate problems with a certain group, and it doesn't coincide with dominant online narratives, they'll say like you need to not speak on this because you are not your opinions aren't valid because you're not part of that community. And then like sometimes I'll point out that I am part of that community, but yeah, anyway, it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. That's as vague as that was the most vague way I could state that. I'm giving all the hot takes tonight.
Yeah, you're coming in hot tonight. That's what it's like. Oh dang. I
have a lot to say tonight, apparently. Out of nowhere. I know, I always your streams are always so like sweet and nice and like, you know, like take care of your mental health, be good to people, and then I come in here and I'm like, I fucking hate everybody.
Rex comes on.
I just like I ruin the aesthetics of your stream.
What?
No, you make them spicy.
Spicy.
You spice them up with hot.
I was like,
Brady looks uncomfortable every time I talk to him. Brady's like, oh my god, I'm gonna get canceled being around her. Brady's like terrified for his own future.
You kind of cracked me up because aesthetics of my stream, I was just I was thirsting after an anime waifu. I'm not sure.
Like multiple. Like you were thirsting hard. You were thirsting after like like cosplay advertisements. Like,
Oh,
okay.
okay. I do have to
like
say,
if you look up a cosplay outfit to buy, he was thirsting over the
Okay.
models wearing them to
Ed,
demonstrate.
you fucked up
That's
so
what he was
hard. I was telling my friends
What?
about you two, and I was saying like, oh, I'm gonna stream with them tonight. Like my two girlfriends who are over, who are all hanging out. And
Sure.
I like pulled up your stream because I was like, oh, like he just went live. Let me
Oh,
just like put on
no.
a stream in the background.
Oh no.
And I switched tabs because we were looking at online clothing. We were like just shopping around for stuff and like looking at stuff. And I switched tabs to go back to the Twitch thing just to see what you were doing, to see, because I was like, oh, I don't know if like we're gonna go on soon. And so I switched tabs, and you were looking at like sexy anime costume cosplay stuff.
Yeah.
And
Oh, for
we
Brady
were
and
all staring-
myself, yes.
Yeah,
We were all
for
like
us.
staring at the screen like, oh, what? And then I was like, switch tabs back. I'm like, I'm not getting involved in this. But like my two friends just looked, and they like we killed ourselves laughing. We were like, what is going on there?
You weren't able to explain to them how it would be for us to wear.
I actually did,
That-
because I was
that's-
like, you know
that's
what?
just
I
our
wonder.
vibe.
I said to them, I was like, I wonder if Ed's looking for a Catboy costume for Brady to wear on stream soon.
Yeah.
That was my
that's
explanation to them.
It's literally what was happening.
At least they weren't talking about like 100-year-old vampire something being into 14-year-olds. Like, what was that shit? I don't know. Once again, I've come into some really weird shit before. I feel like
Yeah.
the anime just smiled.
FX.
Yeah.
Follow. Yeah, I know. We have some weird conversations. Best way to put it out there.
The ethics of anime.
Also, I feel bad for your friends now. They came in at such a weird point because we were looking for like cosplay stuff.
Well, I always
like-
told them about how, like, oh, we have these really good, like, actually, my friend who was watching that part of the stream, she has been watching the stream for a bit, so maybe we've redeemed
Oh, she
ourselves.
has been?
Tina, if you're still watching,
Ooh.
have we redeemed, has Ed redeemed himself in this stream?
I hope.
But, yeah, so she has been watching, because she, like, made a Twitch account while she was here, just so she could watch tonight and engage. Oh, there she is, yeah. Because Michelle's seen the stream, and she was the other one over. So it looks like we're in the clear. But yeah, that was the that was the point where we jumped in, where I was like, oh yeah, this is them, and then I like pulled up your stream, and that was what was happening on screen.
The thing I've come to accept is that we're never in the right context.
No, you're. I jump into conversations, and I'm
we're
like,
never in
what?
the right context to like hop on and like see what the channel is about, because like that's a very narrow lens, and most of the time we're on like tangents about like
the weirdest things out there. Yeah.
The ethics of a 20-year-old and a 12-year-old's body having like sexual scenes on in anime, like those kind of conversations.
Like, what does it mean psychologically for someone to like, do something like, yeah, it's the weirdest discussions out there, I think, but hey, what a way to get people engaged into psychology, right?
Hey, yo, okay, here's an interesting question talking about this, actually. Real life scenario. So, sorry, we're going to tangent off completely because I actually want your thoughts on this now. There was a TLC show about the lady who was like a full-grown adult, but she looked like a child. Right? And they had her doing very adult things in the show to show like people with the syndrome like are still adults, but they just look like they're a child. I don't know if you saw this TLC show. But then there was a lot of ethics conversations around is it okay to like show this person who looks like a child doing these things? And second of all, is it okay for people to lust after this person because they look like a child even though they're a full-grown adult? Because
like
there was a lot of we'll go with fetishization of this person.
It's like being a real life lolly.
Yeah. But they're like full grown, fully mentally like competent, but it's like they just look very like much like a child, like in size and facial features. It's just very, very much like a child. And so people were saying like, because like I think the person was going on dates in the show and like dating this one guy, and they like actually really cared about each other. Like it was a good relationship, but then people were calling him like a pedophile because he was dating someone that looked like a child. But then it's like everyone was arguing back like, yeah, do you expect her to just be single for life though? Because otherwise her other option is to date other people who look like children, who are just either people with her condition or actual children, which would then actually be pedophilia. But then they called anyone who dated her a pedophile because she looked like a child. So if you're sexually attracted to her, it makes you a pedophile. It was like a whole thing. So anyway, thoughts?
So where do you land on it?
I say as long as like they're dating her for her personality and because they have a real connection and not because of the way she looks, then it's okay. But people who are like lusting after her, because of like the fetishization of like this person looking like a child, then I'm gonna be like a little bit more like, ooh, that's a little weird. But the boyfriend she had, or like the person that she was dating in the show, it was totally fine because there was like a real genuine connection and they liked each other, and like he liked her as like someone, like I think they were friends beforehand or something like that, but like they actually got to know each other and he actually really liked her. Versus like some of the people who were just lusting after her, because like after seeing the show like had like a very lustful attraction, and I was like, that feels a little weird because you don't like this person because of their personality or because what they represent. It's like you like them, and it's like you like them based on aesthetics, and their aesthetics are that of a child, right? Anyway, that's my view. Any comments on that one?
Yeah, I don't know, to be honest. I mean, I think it's like two separate things. What do I think about the person themselves?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's unfortunate that that's their experience, and that their selection of partners is probably quite limited due to that.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of people with, neurodivergence or, physically atypical traits and that sort of thing, that have a harder time finding, appropriate partners. The people who fetishize her because she looks like a child, ew.
Okay,
And also no.
that's fair. That's complete. I mean, to me, the reason I kind of brought it up is because it reminds me a lot of the anime stuff, where it's like people will like justify like being attracted to like a like very young looking character by saying like that's
She's actually
it's
600 years old.
Yeah, she's like a 600-year-old fairy, so like it
Yeah.
doesn't count. But it's like no, but it looks like a child, and you're like lusting after this character that looks like a
My
child.
thing, I think that this is like essentially a double-edged trap. No matter how you answer this, if you want me to be 100% honest with
Yeah,
you, right? Because if you're like no, like this should not be shown, then it's like, wait a minute, are you being like what is it
ableist
like ableist, right? Or like when or whatever it's
or
called, right?
discriminatory, just any
Or
in some way.
yeah. Or the other version being like, oh, can people not search out for true love, especially when they're of age? But at the
Yeah,
same time, for me personally, it's like, yo, all right, something's up if that's specifically like, what you go for in dating.
yeah,
Like I'd question individuals that like specifically like that's the only type of like individuals that they've dated, or like their dating history just reflects that.
yeah.
That's where all of a sudden like the red flag meters come up.
That's fair. Yeah, I thought it was a good question for you guys because you guys have that conversation around the anime characters a lot, and it's very similar. But this was like a real life example of something like that happening.
All right, can I ask a spicy question then?
Yes, do it. I've been.
All right. So for you, right, since you do have your streamer persona and like your actual persona, if your friends are still there, what is the difference between streamer Rex and like IRL Rex? That's what I'm curious about.
What are the differences between
Like
my
streamer you
yeah
and the like the
my
view
day to
that you
day?
present towards on stream versus the you that's like with your friends.
There's not honestly a whole lot of differences because I'm very raw on stream, other than sometimes like filtering some comments to be a little bit more digestible, or like
Sure.
or sometimes being more academic in the way I describe things.
I was about to say, well, we just found out that you're kind of racy off stream, aren't you?
Look, okay. What I do in my private life is no one's business.
He meant racist.
Yeah.
Actually, called word
He said
off.
racy. He said
Not.
racy, but
No.
We all
Oh
know
my
what
God,
he
we're gonna
meant.
get fucking. This is gonna get clipped so hard, and this is gonna be the only clips on my channel. Is just everyone calling me
You're
racist.
welcome.
on stream Rex is politically correct. Off stream she's a racist.
We I just called each other like racist names, and then we're like, ha ha ha, and then everyone's like, it's fine, we're cool with it, we're brown. Does that make sense?
Your friend is pretty. Oh, super cat meow. There you go. Wait, or Brady? Are you
Yeah, we're talking about Brady here?
or which one?
Which
Brady's
one?
pretty small.
No.
She's definitely talking about Brady with that red hair.
Oh yeah, ginger.
The ginger. No, I'm about to be stealing your big look. Okay, I'm gonna pull it.
Are you gonna keep the bangs?
I don't know how I'd get rid of them.
Well, you could do something like I've got going on here, like a sort of a part.
They're still bangs. They're just growing out, and I'm trying to. Can you imagine if I just like cut them off and I'm like, nope, they're gone. But no, I have to. I mean, they have to grow out, right? So they're. I mean, do you want me to? Should I keep them? They're super annoying. That's the only thing is like every time, like I'm growing them out right now, and I'm like, I knew I was gonna like them for like a week and a half, and then the minute they start growing out, they suck. And that's kind of what happened. Is like I loved them for the first week and a half, and then they started growing out, and now I hate them because they're everywhere, and I have to style them constantly or like do something with them. So no, I'm probably not gonna keep them. I'm probably just gonna let them grow out at this point and hope they grow enough that I can just push them off my face again soon. Yeah. Anyway,
it's WWO. I tried to wake up early for the stream, but I failed. Oh, no worries. I wasn't even gonna stream today, WWO. I was feeling kind of sick, but thanks for joining. Yeah.
Also, to your question, I don't know if there's any major like differences between like me on stream versus me off stream, other than like what I talk about. Obviously, like there's private stuff that I don't say on stream.
Right. Well, I'm curious. Did your friends answer that, or?
Yeah, Ram said he's like, you just explore more of your political stuff, but that's because like a lot of my group isn't like super political. But they're like, some of them enjoy talking politics, but like they might just not be as knowledgeable as like all the intricate systems. But like a lot of them enjoy like talking about this stuff, but just maybe not to the same extent or like how much I do. So it's like it gives me an outlet. Yeah, I don't know. There's not really like, do you guys have big differences between your stream, you and like, I'm less social IRL. Like I'm a very quiet person when I'm like around people in my real life. Because other than like my close friends, like Rams will say I never shut up. But I don't know. Generally in my life, I'm not a very talkative person throughout the rest of my days. I'm a very much a loner. Like I sit alone a lot.
Well, definitely this, except for in the certain settings. Like I have to be in the mood to be like real chatty. Yeah. But I feel like on stream you kind of have to, especially like depending on how many people you have chatting.
Yeah.
And when I do have people chatting, I'm just a total bitch because it's fun. And then I'm like, I'll be nice in my real life because I can get it here. Unless Brady feels like being degraded off stream, and then I'll do that.
Which sometimes I do.
Damn. All right. I was about to make a really bad joke about the pregnancy. Never mind.
Do it. No, do it.
Do
Please. All I'm doing is joking about being pregnant. Are we going to see if the kid
comes out with red hair now? Like, is that going to be the big test?
Oh my god. Yeah, I haven't made my way to Arizona, so.
Oh, dang.
I'm slightly disappointed now.
Yeah, we were all hoping to be like godfathers out here.
Right.
I mean,
Ed was like, I was definitely going to be picked.
There you go.
Twitch godfathers.
Oh, that'd be cute.
Cute.
Yeah, the Bay is unfortunately the exes, but it is whatever. At least he's hot, so maybe will be real cute.
Hold on, let me invite someone. Super Cato Meow, if you're ever streaming on Fridays, you know, and you want to come join the panel of like discussion or whatever, always feel free to let us know. I'll bring you up, especially since like we've interacted quite a few times. It's always cool to get new faces in for interacting. In case you guys don't know, Super Cato Meow is a streamer. They do actually pretty amazing streams. They've been playing Wild Rift a little bit, but yeah, genuinely really, really awesome, positive person that we rated. I'm not sure if like I was if I'm still muted on Discord or
no, you're
not. You're here. We're listening.
Okay,
we're just letting you do your shout out.
All right, that's fine.
Oh yeah, that too.
Don't worry.
Nice.
I'm used to that.
What's different about online and offline, Edgar?
Yeah.
Man.
You asked the question, so I assume that there might be a difference there.
I'm really shy though, socially awkward. Don't worry, Super Cato Meow, we are. Like, look at Brady, look at Rex. Like, you know. Big updating
Only
guys.
weird, socially awkward people become Twitch streamers. That's like the whole thing, right?
Right?
Oh, I sometimes am just like, oh my god, why did I stream? Let me just delete that bot. I was a fucking mess. And then I'll like go watch someone else, and I'm like, oh, this is an even bigger shit show than what I have going on, and I'm still entertained, so it's fine.
Fair.
Really. And obviously, I was talking about you, Ed. No, I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. I just had to throw a little bit.
It's probably the most put together out of
Obviously.
any of us, to be fair, when it comes to like streaming ability.
Wait, what?
You're definitely the most put together out of any of us when it comes to like streaming ability and stream setup and just competency.
What? Honestly, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing 99% of the time when I'm streaming.
That's okay. I don't know what I'm doing
like...
100% of the time. So there you go. You got 1% up on me.
Such liars. You're both like the earth signs of the group, and you're like, I don't know what I'm doing. It's like, whatever. You guys are stable as fuck. You know what you're doing.
No.
See, but in our heads, we're the perfectionist type too. So it's like nothing is ever good enough. So you understand from like an outside perspective, from your perspective, as a air sign, I believe. Aries, I think. Or is that water? I don't know. Whatever the fuck you are.
Not either. Yeah.
Oh shit, lol. Well, I don't know enough about the signs. Whatever. But I know the air signs look stable to everyone else, okay? But we're internally perfectionists. So to us, we're just a complete mess if we're not perfect. See? I'm catching on. I know the fucking astrology shit.
To talk. Guys, have you ever prepared a topic to talk on Fridays about or anything?
For our Friday streams, sometimes I'll have some like random questions that are fun to like have conversations. But my other stream, I definitely prepare way more because I'll like have to pull up articles on different topics to like cover for like legal stuff.
Well, I was about to say, usually no. Like I've never prepared. At least like it's usually improv. Like the majority of the time, Brady and I are just like, all right, fuck it, we're here, might as well keep going. Or I can, at least I don't think you do like research into anything, right?
Who, me?
Like like prepare a topic or something.
No, not when I stream either. Like as when people watch my stream, they'll know our way of reacting to content is different as well. Like the way you watch an anime and do that sort of breakdown. Mine is very much like I'll watch a majority of the thing and then I'll stop watching it and go into like a really long analysis and commentary block and like pull out the theories that support what I'm saying or whatever else, and then I'll continue. Whereas like this is probably bad. This is probably a bad way to do it, but you've been doing it for longer and know the pace and the rhythm of how to keep the show going while you do that. Whereas like, yeah, I'll pause the show for like an hour and talk about where we are in it and that sort of thing.
Yeah,
it's just my style for it at the moment. But
what I mean is for like group discussions though. Like, you know, whenever we like do our group discussions on Fridays, it's not like you come prepared with like a huge ass topic, like ready to go ahead and like, you know. No. It's just like it is what it is. Like some days, like, you know, we're prepared for the questions. Other days we're like, oh. What?
I think the most that I've prepared for like a Friday stream is like, hey, I had this weird thought this week. What do you guys think about this? Or like, here, I watched this movie this week. Have you guys seen it? Like those are usually the two biggest ones that start off the conversations, then everything just rolls from there.
It's true.
Like I usually just come on randomly, and so I'm just like, what up? I'm just I have no plan other than to wreak havoc.
Yeah, Moist Master. Roasting Ed out here in my chat. Ed hits two of the most important points on good Twitch content. 1, zero work effort or worker effort. Watch anime. 2, be engaging. Let viewers choose the anime. So you got this down pat. Kind of true. I try to let my viewers choose my shit, but no one ever interacts in my Discord. So I'm always like pulling up like random legal stories on my own.
To be honest, I've been questioning my own content quite a bit recently. Just like not really content, but like the way I've been engaging with my viewers and whatnot. I don't know. I don't know if it's like if I was doing enough or not enough. It's that type of shit. Because like I know my Friday streams or like, you know, whenever I do like certain streams, like I can get a good number of viewers, a good number of interactions and stuff. But it's like, you know, I guess it's like that like perfectionist nature that you're talking about. Like, is this enough? Like, you know, where do you go from here? Like, what do you do to get more interaction? So on and so forth, right? So like,
A little bit of that syndrome.
what was that?
Like a little bit of that imposter syndrome.
Yeah,
I can't talk.
yeah, essentially. I've been like, I wonder if like, this is like good, but you know, it is what it is. Best way for me to put it.
How do you all deal with it when deal with just like when you're not in the mood to stream, but you have a plan to stream? Like if you just had a real shit day, but you like committed to it, because like I cancel all the fucking time and I don't know how to not do that.
I cancel all the time. I haven't streamed on my own channel in like 30 days.
All right, so I don't give a fuck about your opinion because clearly you don't know. I'm just kidding. Please tell me. That makes me feel better.
Well, but my like, because like Edgar's main platform is Twitch, and for me, my like intention with my like sort of creative platform is more YouTube, and Twitch is like, you know, an addition to that. My creative platform is more to make like, you know, my videos and stuff like the one that you saw, Iggy, and you know, to do Twitch like meanwhile, that's the idea. But one, I don't create very many videos, and two, I don't stream as often as I should either. But that's just because I just moved somewhere new and I've been setting up, so I'm planning to ramp that up a little more.
You all have reasons to. Like now I'm not working, so I just like I feel like I don't have an excuse. I just like don't want to be social, or like I don't feel like I have anything to talk about, or if I do, I sound stupid because my brain's mush today because I'm all internal. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I with me, it's like I would like to have an actual schedule where I'm like, you know, these are the 3 days of the week I stream, and then on Fridays I might show up on Edgar's channel or something. But with my job, I don't know what days I'm going to have the energy for it.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I never know what kind of day it's going to be until I'm having it. And then I sometimes come home and I'm just like, I just want to sleep. And I don't want to stream. So I've been getting better at pacing that sort of thing, so where I don't feel so tired, even if it was a very stressful day. So probably I will make an actual schedule and then reserve the right to cancel it, because it's my choice in the end. Yeah.
I don't give a shit when
it's also not my main.
Yeah. I'm kind of similar to Iggy, except I usually like don't tell my viewers in advance when I'm streaming until it's why I always like announce my streams like an hour or less before I stream, is because like at that point I'll decide whether I'm like still ready to stream or not, because like sometimes I'll plan in the morning and be like, I'm gonna stream tonight, and then by the time 10 o'clock hits I'm like, I'm not streaming tonight. But I don't really announce my streams until like 9 to 10 p.m. at night, just because it like gives me enough time to like decide whether I want to. And then I went on like I went on a long break at the end of my semester and right after my semester, because my life was like a lot of stuff was just going on, and I just basically like stepped away from streaming for a little bit, for like to give myself a little bit of a break to go do other stuff. And then when I came back, I was like, hey, sorry for the long break, stuff going on in my own life. I'm going back to streaming tonight. I'll see you guys later. And that's usually, it's like I'll just tell people after, like I'll put out an announcement in my Discord that I've like, this is why I stopped. I'm back tonight. I'll tell people after the fact that I've like, after I come back from like a short break, and I'm like, all right, back. Cause I'm like, whatever. It's not like I think my community is a little different in the sense that like, you're still, yes, I'm still on. Shut up. That's my friend bugging me in the chat because she was one of the ones watching us, the Twitch of Ed looking up sexy anime costumes.
It was for a cosplay. It was for a cosplay for
me. Sexy anime costumes for me to wear. Let's keep that point.
Yeah, because we have a competition or something. Once we had a certain goal, we all like Brady and I have to wear some cosplay stuff.
Me and Iggy are very excited for this.
Oh no!
My hormones have been out of control, so I'm like, yes, I'm thirsting already.
Well, specifically, so even an even better layer to this, the character that they want me to cosplay, named Felix, is a cat boy, but a very feminine cat boy. Like,
wait, hold on. Has that already been decided? Because I don't think we've done the poll, but I know that they've been hinting at it.
No,
I
you guys said
mean,
a long time ago it was gonna be the cat boy.
yeah, I'm supposed to be a cat boy,
Oh gosh, now I'm scared.
so
All right.
I might as well go with Felix because
Remember, because we needed the nice little tail.
he's the cat boy, but he wears a very you know, I don't think you know that it's a boy for a very good while into the show. Like even the main character is confused about that because he's wearing like very like feminine kind of clothing and that sort of thing, and the cosplay is like you know never displayed with boys wearing it.
Mm. God, I can't
That
wait to
seems
see this.
ideal for me.
Yeah, no, it seems perfect. It's a good match. Oh, God, what were we talking about before we got back into the anime catboy outfits? I
Your
was so excited to see.
communities, how you let them know.
Yeah, about like canceling the stream.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
no, I tell my because my for you guys like I think your community is much closer, whereas my community is very like not the same type of like closeness and warmness. So like for me, it's like I'll just disappear and then come back 3 weeks later. I'm like, hey, we're covering this legislation tonight. Come hang out if you and fight with me if you want to.
Yeah.
So it's just a very different
When people
setting.
talk shit, I want to slit throats.
Yeah. No, I let my people know, and my people have a pretty big crossover with Edgar's as well. But there are people in my community who are from my old community when I had my podcast and stuff. But I let them all know like 3 months ago. I'm going away for a while because I'm moving and I'm not going to be able to do all this stuff. And I'm like just now getting out of that phase
Yeah.
and like ready to start making things again. So, but they've known I was going to be on stasis for a little while. So I have not really felt the obligation to stream very much.
My thing is I've had a lot of health issues recently, so I think they know. Uh, when I'm like, all right, I'm at like, I won't be able to stream. It's for that particular reason. But they're really kind, I think, for the most part. They've just been super cool with it.
Yeah.
Good. Ooh.
Well, you've got a great community going because it is quite autonomous at this point, which means that they'll interact with each other even if you're not around.
Oh yeah, that's the wonderful part of it.
And that's the great kind of community to have because even if it's small, it's not going to shrink very much. Like we hang out in our Discord and we hang out and I meet with Kraith and whatever stuff, like irrespective of streaming, irrespective of you being there, like we do a lot of that stuff just because we like hanging out, amongst ourselves. And that's kind of where it's good to get to with your community.
Somebody in my chat used the derail and they're asking what the favorite anime is, and then I also have a question about opinions on the Biden speech. So favorite anime, and then we'll move on to the next topic. Sorry, I'm kind of leading it tonight, but I just got a lot of good questions in the chat.
What is your favorite anime, Edgar?
Don't really have one. I've liked a lot of good animes, but I haven't ranked one like at a masterpiece level, and that's why my community sort of gets a little tilted because they're trying to show me like masterpiece level animes, and most of them I kind of find flaws with them, and I'm kind of like the pacing sucked. The narrative telling was phenomenal, but you also had some really creepy shit in there that just threw it all off balance, and you know like there's good things that you can pick up from it, but like my favorite, that's hard. I can't really pick one right now unless I'm gonna pop out and be like, oh yeah, Dragon Ball Z, because that's what I grew up with. But no, like I'm not gonna.
What are some of your top tier ones then? Like maybe like a couple that you've like enjoyed more than others.
God, you're making this more significantly more difficult. Brady, go first.
Well, I mean, the two shows that I'm watching so far are pretty S tier for me. One is ReZero, and the other one is Made in Abyss. But I'm really only in the beginning of both of them, so I can't really comment on whether or not they're actually like S tier because they could get worse. But the show that like I've seen all of and still like, I mean, I always liked Full Metal Alchemist.
Me too.
That was always my both Brotherhood I've seen and the original run was on Adult Swim. But yeah, I would say Fullmetal Alchemist is probably my favorite look that I've seen it all and can judge it all.
You know what? I really like not like a favorite show, but just shows that like I can get along with or do. Cowboy Bebop was actually a really good show that I like enjoyed. ReZero's good show. Moshiko Tensei's a good show if you really want to get into a heated argument with people. I don't know, there's a lot of phenomenal shows out there, but again, it just depends up to your preferences. But like an S tier, like Omega, like this is the best, absolute best show out there. I don't know, I haven't encountered that. Not yet, anyway.
Have you all seen the Visions of Escaflowne? I probably have asked this before.
Sounds familiar to me, but no.
It's like about like a teenage girl who like she's like running track and she's like really interested in tarot, and like while she's like practicing one night, like someone comes from another planet like accidentally, and she ends up going back to his planet with him, and it's like two like worlds like fighting each other, and she tries to be the mediator, like, and like uses her tarot readings to guide her, but she like often
this
like
looks really cool. I like the well, I love the like 80s style of animation look. Like just the way that they looked back then. And I know this
really,
this says 1990, this is 1996, but I mean closer to the 80s than now. I might watch this. This looks cool.
You should. It's so beautiful. I haven't seen too many, but I was gonna say I feel like Cowboy Bebop would definitely be up there for me, but if I wanted to like be a little bit more obscure, I'd say it is. I honestly probably is my favorite still.
I probably like Cowboy Bebop, but I just haven't seen it.
Oh my god, it's such a. Have you seen?
You haven't seen Cowboy Bebop?
Just haven't seen it.
Samurai Champloo?
Samurai Champloo I've seen, yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
that show is pretty good.
Wow, I like don't even watch it like that much anime, but like that's like that's so iconic.
But that show was on. Well, that show Champloo was on Adult Swim, which is why I've seen it.
Or was it not?
It probably was, but I don't know. I've just never seen it, and it's one of those like, you would like it, and it's just on backlog, and you haven't watched it because you're waiting for the right time to do it, and then it never happens.
There's never the right time. The time is now.
But if the time was now for all of the things that are on my backlog in that status, then I get choice paralysis.
That's fair. Do you watch a lot of anime, Rex?
I used to watch a lot more, but I watched a lot of random niche animes that I found online or like on Netflix. So like a lot of the big ones that you guys. There was
like which ones?
There was one called K, and it was on Netflix, and it was really good. It was like one season and really short, but it was a really good short series. What was it? Akame ga Kill was really good. I think it was also only 1 or 2 seasons, and that one I watched on Crunchyroll. Oh god, something demon, not Demon Slayer. It was a different something. Blue Demon or something like that. I don't know, something like that. I think that one was more popular, but I watched that one. It was like a lot of random ones that I would just watch, and like I'm gonna have to look up. You know what? Let me check my Netflix history because they'll be like on my Netflix. Oh, Blue Exorcist, that one. Yeah, I watched Blue Exorcist, which I don't know if it was that. I don't remember. It was like at the time I really enjoyed it, but I don't know if it actually like holds up as a show today. But I did like Blue Exorcist. Oh god, now I have to like look at my list because like, and again, there was like just a bunch that I would go on Crunchyroll and like sometimes just watch random animes that now I like don't remember what I watched because it was just like I would get bored. Blue Exorcist started off slow. It got good during the middle, and I don't think it ended that well, which is why I don't think I remember it very much. Oh, Inuyasha I grew up watching, which is shit show. Death Note, my favorite anime because I'm basic, but it was the anime that started me off, obviously.
Death Note's great.
It was like the anime that started me into anime, so I am very like attached to it in that way. Black Butler was good. And then
is it because of Light Yagami?
No, it's because of L.
Okay.
Oh, that's what you're into.
Interesting.
I was an emo kid in high school, so you better understand that like there's probably much more. Look, come on. He looked like every emo lead singer, okay? But yeah, Black Butler, Vampire Knight, if anyone's watched that, it's like the like anime version of Twilight, and it is so fucking bad. But
Moist
my
Master,
little 13-year-old me loved it.
I'm with you, Moist. First half of Death Note, everything after that, and we all know which part that is to avoid spoilers, but it's like where the show should have kind of ended.
Yeah, I didn't like the second rise of new.
Just that whole second half is just like has none of its own new ideas.
Wait, can you see
it's
it?
just a repeat.
No, I have a box. Hold on, actually, no, I can move my camera. That right there is the box set of all 13 books. I have like the whole box set, like fancy and everything. That's my box set of Death Note that I bought for myself when I was like 13. And my mom is obsessed with Death Note, so she watched the whole series with me, I started reading it when I was in like grade 5 or 6, and then I finally got the book series when I think I was like 13, and I was like so obsessed with it. And my parents actually read the first book, and then the anime series came to Netflix, and I watched it, and my parents watched it with me, and my mom has watched the whole series like a couple of times with me. She loves it, which I think is really cute.
Oh,
my mom's very supportive of all my interests. Yeah, Vampire Knight is a guilty pleasure show, though, if anyone's interested. If you like were a Twilight kid, which I wasn't, I hated Twilight, but I was like my kind of like guilty pleasure show, and it was one of the first 2 animes. It was Death Note I read as a manga, and Vampire Knight. And it was like the first 2 things that ever got me to like the manga anime community. When I was in like grade 5, my friend gave me those 2 books, and I read them, and I was like, I really like this. But you know, I was a 13-year-old, like, and it was hot vampires, so. You know.
And those hot vampires.
Yeah, like what else were you gonna do? You know what I mean? Like, of course you're gonna fall into it.
You know, I've heard a lot about Vampire Knight. Still haven't seen it.
Oh, you really need to watch it. I think if you're reacting to animes on stream, you really should, especially with like your analysis of it is gonna be so intense because you're gonna hate like every action that every character takes in that show from like from an analysis standpoint on your stream. I think you should watch it because I think your reaction to it would just be so funny the entire time.
Oh gosh.
It's really bad. Like it's a fluff soap opera kind of vibe.
Speaking of reactions, can we take an Amberlynn Reid poetry break, please?
Oh no.
I need Brady and Ed to.
Why are you still destroying yourself with this? What are you doing?
What?
You're just like destroying yourself with this poetry. Why? You're like a masochist.
I'm not. My friend kind of forced it on me, and now I just want to force it on them. I'm not like watching it in my own time at this point. It's only when my friend's over and she's like, "Here's this." Like she sent me that poem like one night after she left, and I was like, "Girl, I cannot get past the second line." And astonished, I was like, "I'm gonna lose my shit." But I need them to see it in action, just really quickly. I know that there's that Joe Biden question, but like I'm just saying.
Oh no, we'll get back to that later.
Yeah, I was like, I've been waiting. Okay.
Go nuts.
I've already gone nuts, but Ed.
What?
Are you just ignoring me?
No, I'm sorry. I got way too into the game for a second. Sorry, what?
He's trying to prevent a fake Twitch e-girl from having a mental breakdown.
Yeah,
right?
What?
Okay,
what did I miss?
I'm trying to stop this.
I see. Okay.
He's attending to his needy virtual streamer girlfriend.
My lord.
Ed, you're so dramatic.
It's like what Brady does for Iggy.
Hey, what does he do for me?
Wow.
I'm sorry. That was mean.
No. To know what was done.
I love both of you.
This isn't. You're being very unkind to me in the Bay because not only did you talk shit, but now you won't repeat it.
Oh, do you want me to repeat that joke?
love for you too.
I was like, it's literally what Brady does for Iggy.
But what is that? What is what?
I said leave Edgar alone. He's attending to his needy fake virtual girlfriend Twitch streamer.
Real hadn't even listened. Not honestly that needy. So like I just want to clear that up. Orange Moon, I really love being left alone also.
I love you, Iggy. I'm sorry.
I
it was right there, you know?
I only said that because the game he's playing is literally called like Needy Twitch Streamer, isn't it?
Needy streamer overload, yeah.
Needy streamer overload.
You're canceled as one of the Godfathers. I would love you to know that, Rex. No more.
That's okay. I don't think you want me near your kid anyway. Okay, I'll probably drop it on its head too.
Just kidding. Hopefully not. Be real careful.
It's okay. When he's 3 years old, I'll send him a drum set from Canada, and you'll be up for days at a time.
Hold on. What'd you?
That to be a boy mom. I'm determined.
What'd you send me?
What?
The fucking link for the post. Yes, let's go.
Oh shit! Wait, I gotta pull this up. Hold on. What's going on?
Wait. Oh, can we not? Will we be able to hear it? No. Oh, I guess you have to pull it up in your stream, huh?
I was about to say, Rex, you want to pull it up on yours and share? Because my ISP is special at the moment.
Oh, wait, hold on.
Your wife's computer.
Hey,
Iggy, send me the link and I'll try to pull it up on Discord, and we can all watch it in Discord.
Leave my kawaii Kangel alone. This is a VTuber, okay?
Hold on, Iggy, you should just be able to pull it up. Are you streaming right now, Iggy?
No, and I also stream from my iPad, so I don't have a way to.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, wait. Get Brady to do it then, because Brady's not streaming, so he doesn't have to like mute it on one side and try to watch it. If you can like stream it to the Discord from your computer, then we can all watch it through Discord on our streams.
What should I find?
Iggy, send him the link, whatever you want us to watch, unless you don't want us to watch it right now, and that's just for Edgar later.
No, I've been waiting.
Okay.
God damn it. Okay, hang on.
Send it to Brady, and he can pull it up on Discord.
I've been waiting.
I got sick of the bangs that are out of my face.
Listen, just anything cringy my friends bring to me and I have to endure, I'm going to bring it to you. I may not have topics prepared, but I do have trash to share.
You have people we can shit on prepared.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Me and Iggy are just, we like being toxic on other people's streams.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is it this one?
That's whatever one I sent you. I don't know. Did you click the link, Brady?
Oh,
yeah.
Wait. Watch stream. There we go. Oh, shit. What was the other?
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. We watch it like this. We'll do this for now.
Thank you. Yes. And
new video. I put up another Q&A thing for you guys. So this is going to be part 3. It's just easier while I'm resting up because
should we be able to hear it?
My
I
life
can't hear it.
currently consists of nothing.
Okay.
My life now is so different than it was.
You can't hear this?
No,
Wait,
it's fine. I've seen it. Weird.
Do you have it muted?
Fine. No. I mean, I can hear you guys.
Just 2 weeks ago. Today's day 12 of this nonsense. So on Tuesday it'll be 2 weeks. Today's date is actually the 27th. If you can see there. So yeah. I fell on the 16th. So there is a few questions like I want to answer revolving the fall and all that stuff. I've had people ask like, is anywhere else hurt besides your ankle, and now your leg is hurting? My toes hurt, obviously. It is the right ankle, but I landed on my left leg, like my shin area. There's a huge bruise. It's painful / numb. So yeah, the bruise is officially turned yellow though. So that is healing. It still hurts a little bit. At first, like day 1, day 2, partially day 3, it burned so bad. Like it was the weirdest sensation. But now it just like kind of hurts and stuff.
Ed?
So that is honestly the only.
What? Am I? What am I missing?
Yeah, what the fuck did I do?
Wait, oh, Ed's doing stuff on his stream. Ed, what are you doing?
What do you mean? What am I doing?
Are you laughing
Why are
so
you
much?
giggling?
Yeah.
Well, but what's the context of this? Like, what is this?
I was trying to send. So
Yeah,
I was
it's the
trying
wrong
to
one.
tree. I don't know. I put a link in here earlier. I thought it was the same one, so I don't know. Never mind.
Wait, so we've just been watching this lady talk about her ankle injury.
Well, I'm sure it's juicy. Like at some point, she like lies all the time and is just like. She also says that she always speaks like in proper grammar, and she says like buffet. And I actually like. Okay, hang on. No, I'm gonna find this. You know what? Whatever. I don't even care anymore. Like the moment's over. I don't. It's too late to
You're
talk
over it, gone, past it.
Super over it. Let's move on. What's the Joe Biden thing? I'm done.
Oh yeah, sorry. I guess we'll move forward.
You don't have to say sorry. I fucked that up. Actually, they did by not
It's okay.
addressing me
It's the
earlier.
pregnancy brain. Don't worry about it.
Exactly, 100%. It's not my distracted by his fucking waifu.
I'm sorry. I have a waifu here, a VTuber.
Ed is more needy than the waifu. Jesus Christ, Ed, chill. Anyway, yeah, the Joe Biden speech. Did anyone actually watch it? I haven't watched the whole thing, so I don't have a lot of opinions on it. The aesthetics didn't look great. I don't think.
Oh yeah, the light designer sucked.
Whoever the light designer really fucked up. I didn't watch enough of the speech. I've seen clips, and it doesn't seem like it's as bad as like a lot of people, like reactionaries, are making it out to be. The actual speech itself. The only big problem I had with it was it had Marines behind him, and Marines are supposed to like typically be politically neutral. So to put them behind you in a speech where you're being very divisive in your language, I think wasn't a good look, because the Marines are not supposed to fight on like they're not supposed to be like part of the government entities in that way. So I think that was like probably pretty poor decision in terms of like having Marines behind you during a very politically charged speech. So that was like my only like kind of takeaway before I watched the speech itself.
The other political party wields the military like it's their own
military
appendage.
Yes, but Marines like specifically Marines are not supposed to be like politically used in that way, because you can talk about the military, you can like use them as your pawns, but to present
not supposed to be is so like enigmatic of the entire issue with politics in America. Like nothing that currently happens is supposed to be that way.
Well,
but it's just everything is violated.
I would disagree. I think the American system is set up exactly how it is supposed to meant to run, but I don't think like people understand that, because I think it runs the way it's supposed to, but it's just not the way we want it to, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like things have been set up very particularly to run a certain way, but we all disagree with it, thinking this is not a good way, but it is the way it is like set up to run, if that makes sense.
It'd be what it be.
It'd be what it be.
My thing is, I'm pretty sure other presidents have had Marines behind them. I'm
during politically charged speeches?
During, I was about to say, girl, we don't even got to go that far. We just got to look at like when they were running for fucking president. The majority
Didn't
of
our last president want to have tanks going through the streets during his thing?
So like my issue was mostly with like, because whenever he said I haven't seen it, the only thing I saw were like actual pictures of it, and I was like, that lighting designer made him look out to be like a fucking Batman villain with the red lighting. Like any good fucking light designer, like that's taken even like a course in light design, will always tell you, do not use red as your background unless you're trying to set up like a dark shot or an evil shot. Like that light designer fucked up hard.
Oh yeah, 100%. God damn it! I'm just trying to fix. I finally got my straight. I realized that I just need to move things around in my actual. I got my camera behind my screen overlay now. We're good. I finally fixed it after 3 hours into the stream. I finally fixed it. But yeah, no, I think the light design was poor choice. Having the Marines behind, And we could say like, yeah, the right does it a lot, but it doesn't make it okay for the left to do it or Democrats to do it. So I would disagree with that decision. The speech itself seemed to be a little more politically divisive than it should have been. Like, I always commended Obama on his ability to bring people together, and I always not condemned, commended, right? You say a word too much, and all of a sudden it loses meaning. Anyway, I applaud Obama on his rhetoric being able to like bring people together more than it divided people, whereas Trump was very divisive with his language, and I was like, the next president like needs to be more uniting with his language. So the way that Biden talked, I didn't necessarily agree with, just because I think being that divisive in a time of like hyper partisanship is probably not the route to go. So I think in terms of his rhetoric, I didn't like that either. Those are just like my major comments before I watched deep into the speech. I've only seen like parts of it. I haven't watched it all the way through to give any more opinion than that. Anyone else? You guys are American. Why do you not have stronger opinions on this?
I don't know. I'm just kind of glad our president didn't do blackface.
Okay, can we stop saying blackface? It was fucking brownface. He dressed up as a brown person, okay? Indian.
Brown face.
Okay? Don't take that away from us.
I keep the... my bad. Yeah. Brown face.
That was a turban he was wearing, okay? He was impersonating us. We're not going to lose that.
Damn,
okay, we
that
finally had a brown
sucks.
president. We're going to keep that representation up there.
We're going to keep our representation up there. Oof.
It's so funny because I actually know people who went to university with him. Like, did their bachelor's and stuff at the same time. Like, other teachers. And it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I don't really have a strong opinion about Mr. B.
He's just as bad as everyone else, just under a different label.
I like that take.
I feel about most of them. I want to get more involved, like, locally. But right now, oh my fucking god, actually, can we watch something? Actually, you know what? No, because I don't want to out where I live. I'm going to send this to you all separately. The mayor of the town that I'm in, I'm like, what the fuck has happened?
Ooh.
What the actual fuck is... I would love... Yeah, I don't... Yeah.
Send it to me.
To know, like,
I won't react to it on stream, but maybe it'll be something that like I talk about on stream, but I don't want to out you where you live. Maybe I'll do it in like a month. In a month from now when everyone forgets.
Yeah, and just like be like maybe vague about it.
Vague.
But yeah,
where it's from.
I'll send it to you. It's crazy. I forget what his fucking name is, and I'm like, oh, I don't think I was here when, or maybe I think my polling location was still in the city, and I don't have a car, so I could vote here anyway. But yeah, I was like, what is happening? There's just so much crazy shit that's happened politically lately.
Can you guys do mail-in voting for local elections?
What was that?
Edgar,
what's up?
What are you telling this poor girl?
What do you mean?
what were you just telling her? Like, oh, I'm a little girl. I like animes.
No, that was not. No, first off, that was not me. First off, that was not me. That's like, you are a moderator, and these are the comments that are coming through. So like, you have to like moderate it, get rid of them or whatnot as they come to the streamer, right? Like, damn, bro, you're trying to make me out to seem a bad person here. No, you can't fucking write anything in here. What you talking about?
Wait, Moist Master, are you Swedish? Sorry. Didn't mean to interrupt. I keep forgetting we're on the Discord call and I'll just randomly reply to comments. Oh shit, that's so cool. He's Swedish. What are you doing up at this hour?
What are you doing up at this hour?
Okay, it's only 2 a.m. for us, okay? I have insomnia. This is nothing for me. This man, it's like Sweden. It's like, oh no, I guess it's 10 a.m. over there. I guess it's morning. Never mind. Yeah, never mind. You're good. You vibing out. It's morning over there. It's weirder for us.
And I'm like, it's 4. I'm like, I'm not the judge.
Oh, damn. I forgot you're so much further ahead in time zone. Because me, Brady, and Ed, I think, are all in the same time zone.
Yeah.
We're vibing out.
What the fuck is this? I will find this campaign because I was like, excuse me, what the actual fuck? Oh, another thing that happened in the town is like one of the teachers, there was a teacher who I think resigned, like basically probably forced to resign because she gave a QR code to students to like the Brooklyn Library, which apparently contains banned books. So like, I'm like, okay, this is like, what? Yeah, like in
That's
high school
stupid.
too. I'm like, I'm pretty sure these high school students are going to be fine if they have access to the Brooklyn Library. Like, why is this an issue?
The idea of banned books in schools is like the most insane concept to me in my life. Why the fuck are we
No,
banning any book ever?
especially if it was like a QR code to a library, like something that they can access like outside of home, even like
Yeah.
outside of school, even. If parents should be involved if they really don't want them reading something. Like that's not like I don't know. This is just it was just fucking baffling to me.
How do you, Brady, Ed, do you have any strong thoughts on the idea of banning books? Like,
Yeah, it's stupid.
Yeah.
you would be
It's
against
pretty
banning
dumb.
books ever?
Yeah.
Okay.
If the education is good enough, you can teach them anything they need to know so that you don't have to ban
How to be
the book.
critical of all media you engage with.
Yes, exactly.
But you see, that's, I don't know. It's I'm like processing this and I'm like, why do people ban books? Oh, because it's hitting on something that they don't want like people
But
to go at.
the thing is now, okay, I can understand why they banned books 30 years ago, because if you banned it in
Yeah.
school, it would be very hard for that child to go find that book. This is not an issue now. Ban the book if you want, but the kid, if they're interested, they will find it. Wouldn't you rather have them discuss it in a education environment where potentially someone more informed could guide them through the reading of it and its controversial themes, versus like have them go discover it on the internet where people are fucking stupid and the opinions they'll be supplied with will give them like the complete wrong idea about it? You ban a book 30 years ago, it's done. They're not going to find that book unless
Yeah.
it's in their library. It's not the same now. People, you find it. Find worse shit than books online. And
True.
you'll and when you find them, you'll find the idiots who like that stuff. And you'll get their opinion.
I feel like the same people too who are like just going back to like the giving your kid an iPad at like age fucking whatever, like 2. Like I bet you these are the same people that like want to ban books, but they're like, here, let me just give you this iPad or this phone and just like completely ignore you for hours on end and let you like have access to whatever.
Yeah.
It's illegal to send students things that they can't get in school. Wait, I don't believe that. That doesn't sound like a real law. Why would it be illegal to send students to things they can't get in school? That doesn't sound, unless you have a link. Do you have if you have links to those laws, please send them. But I can't imagine that'd be true. Because you'd like limit access to it.
Yeah.
But like what about like online materials and stuff? Like I don't know. That seems like that'd be a really contentious law to try to work around for like certain materials.
Anyway. I keep forgetting that you're in Canada, and I'm like, this makes sense. That's why I'm like, this is very
that sounds very American to me. Yeah.
Damn.
American. Very
Jesus.
much so.
America.
Yeah.
Is that also just certain states, or is that all states? Because like most of your stuff is state by state law. That's also what makes it so hard for like anyone outside of like America to understand America, because like everything state, like in Canada we have a federal criminal code. In state it like everything changes between states. You can't keep track of it at all.
America's dumb.
Yeah.
It is very dumb. I think this video got wiped from the internet maybe after his campaign. So he had like shots of like old like Confederate reenactments and shit. Like it was very much like a not even subtle like Make America Great Again, like just showing like flashbacks to like the South. Like I'm like, why is this being shown at all? Like I don't know. And he won the seat in a town that's supposed to be fairly liberal. It's baffling to me, but I mean it makes sense. It's still like a lot of like old white. Okay, I swear I will dig through the trenches. I will find this and I will send it to you because it blew my mind.
If your school does not allow something, you can't be like, hey kid, but go get it here. You don't decide against what the school disallows. Yeah, but like if the teacher was sending them like a QR code to like a library so that they could do research for like a book report or something, wouldn't it like it's like, oh hey, you can find more resources at the library, but just because that library sells books that you couldn't like that are banned in schools, that seems really weird. But again, maybe it's just like maybe that's a very American thing of like, because here, I don't know if you'd ever have laws like that in Canada, where it's like, oh, because this place carries supplied or like supplies things that you like can't access in school. Like, what if your local library also has like, I don't know, um films that like are like PG-13 or rated R or whatever? Because like I know a lot of libraries used to like, I don't know if you, oh maybe that's a Canadian thing, I don't know, but there was like libraries that you could like rent DVDs or like movies out of too, and like then would you not be able to recommend the like that's I don't know, it just seems like a very like hard law to work around. But again, maybe it's America. You guys all seem to like think it's like, oh, this sounds very American.
Yeah, I mean, very much, especially like I said, I'm in Oklahoma, one of the worst states. I think we're literally like 40. Actually, I'm curious. I know that we're like almost at the very rock bottom for like mental health, and same with education. Let's see, Oklahoma. Nothing shocks me in the United States at all.
Nothing shocks me.
Honestly, I always hear like crazy stuff, and I'm like, oh god, I can't believe this is real. But yeah, Preacher, if you have any links to like those laws, if you have any like links to those pieces of legislation, send them to me.
If you guys want to know mentally ill, healthcare quality 45, public health 48, healthcare access 48, education is probably up there too. Like it's
Jesus.
The whole United States is fucked. So that's saying a lot.
The teacher specifically sent them to QR code to do something the school disallows, not generally get books for a study or a lesson. Oh, that might be a little bit more contentious then. I can understand. But even so, it feels like if like the teacher wants to pass on information of like, hey, I can't supply you this, but like if this is something you're interested in, you can find it here. I feel like that should be allowed. This, unless it's something that's like specifically harmful, or like if you were like sending obviously some like QR codes to like porn sites or something, that'd be like a very different thing. But like if it's just like, hey, this is material that I can't supply you with, but I think is like educationally important, seems really weird that like you could stop them. But I also understand that if something's banned by the school, then you don't want your teachers who are working on behalf of the school to send that information to students.
Yeah.
It's a weird like, yeah. But again, book banning at its core is stupid as hell. Onision's. I mean, wow, someone else knows who Onision is.
That's it. That was fine, apparently.
Sorry?
I just think I don't know. I was just like about to go off on a whole tangent about J.K. Rowling. And just like, we all read Harry Potter as kids, and that was racist as fuck, but that's still allowed.
I think it's like the whether it has like explicit or implicit messaging though, right? Like Harry Potter isn't like explicit messaging of people to act a certain way. And actually, like I would say the moral of the story was like to not like, because it was like about it wasn't about like the whole thing with like Voldemort and all them was like to be like purebloods, and that was like the whole race thing was like the evil character was like fighting.
What Iggy is saying is that it's laced with racist stereotypes.
Yeah, but is it like whether a book implicit?
What Rex is saying is that there was no explicit theming of how to behave against races.
Mm-hmm.
But the book contains kind of both, right? Like the stereotypes are definitely present. Oh, it's the goblins who run the banks.
Yeah.
Like that kind of stuff, you know? It's like, really? But there's no...
Yeah.
Please treat the goblins wrong because they're goblins. Like,
there's no explicit agenda.
That's what Rex is saying. And the overall, the messaging is actually, I don't know.
I think there's go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, y'all, I love you. I appreciate you. But that man is hitting me. It's been hitting me for the past 30 minutes, and I've been fighting it like hard. I love y'all. Be safe. I'm gonna sign off for the night because I shouldn't even have been streaming today, but I did anyway. But I appreciate y'all. Have a good night. Be safe, Rex. Be safe, Brady. Bye, Iggy. Have a good night.
Want me to be safe? I have baby. Okay, that's fine.
I said be safe. Bye. I said be safe too. Damn. Bye.
Now this is fucked up your...
Yeah. Okay, there we go. Oh, it fixed it really fast.
Actually, no, it fixed itself.
There we go. Nice. We're good.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I think there's nothing overt about J.K. Rowling's books that you could justify banning them.
Mm-hmm.
ban them. That's not what I was saying at all. I was just talking about the things that we do allow in schools. Like you're still going to see Dr. Seuss all over the fucking place. And like, I don't know, just like the things that people have a problem with it being taught and shown in schools versus like the things that are out there that like are clearly like, even if they do have undertones, like I just still think that, yeah, her Twitter is way worse.
Maybe we could
She's
just
like so
ban her
too.
from Twitter.
Yeah, just like ban her.
I think a lot of times what it comes down to when it comes to like talking about like whether we are banning stuff or not, again, comes down to that explicit or implicit. Well, like what was the like a lot of Dr. Seuss stuff, right? Like we can argue that there was a couple of books that had like some bad stereotypes in them, especially, but like at the time they probably weren't. I don't know if like the intent with them was to be like extremely racist or stereotypical. They might have been, but again, the reason like that those things aren't banned in the same way is because like the intent of the overall story is not to like push some type of narrative or like like political or like social narrative. Whereas I think a lot of stuff, not that I agree with it being banned, obviously, because I don't believe in banning books at all. I think a lot of stuff that is being banned though in certain states is like stuff that has like a specific interest in a social or political cause, and it's like explicitly trying to push a narrative about a social or political cause. Um, I think that's like the difference, right? Like, so yeah, something that's just a story versus something that has like an intentional educational purpose to push a certain narrative on a certain social or political topic. There's a big difference between those things, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I just think that the idea is dumb. Like if you're worried about kids getting the wrong context about things, you're better off having them discover that context, in a consequence-free learning environment. But we know that schools and institutions are not consequence-free, even though they're supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
Also, to what the person's saying in your chat, that school has a history of kind of stuff, and I think that rather, even if they like chose to quit, it wasn't just because they chose to quit. It was because that they knew that there would be
consequences.
Like it wouldn't be. Yeah, it was like there was something else that happened with another teacher that was really fucked up, and like I think they were also forced. Like just this town is terrible. It was like a sundown town for so long. They try to like act like it's diverse, and, like they care about the community, but they don't. I mean, it shows by the mayor they selected. So sorry, no, I feel like I'm just on a tangent. I'm just like over politics in general. It's just like we just keep going backwards.
It's hard when like the country is now politically very, very divided, because half the country is progressing really, really fast, and half the country is like rapidly anti-progressive, and like in some ways like moving backwards in steps,
and has the influence to actually stop progress too.
Yeah, federally, not, but like state by state, which again is the nice thing about like having your guys' like the states' rights thing, is like everything is kind of like you can find places where you'd be more okay with like the laws versus other places. But the problem is like now when you get to like the federal level, you have like a lot more divisiveness because your country is pretty 50-50 on a lot of their beliefs. So it becomes a little bit harder to actively but arguably the thing is like if you want a democratic country, that is something that you have to have, is like if 50% of your population believes in something and 50% doesn't, you can't override 50% of your country just because you want something. So I don't know, unless you want to split off into two different countries, it's a hard line to draw.
Preacher Maine, I don't think it needs to necessarily be one or the other, that sexual education is either in school or at home. Shouldn't there potentially be a like separate, like you don't get your driving education in school or at home, like you go to driver's ed. Like sexual education classes for, kids of the appropriate age, I think is probably fine, because then you're learning from professionals, not from just whatever your parents think is okay.
Yeah.
Because like your parents' sexual education knowledge may be garbage, and it may not be very good in the school environment either. Like for something that actually requires an expert knowledge to be taught, because unfortunately it's it's treated as, well, that's something your parents should teach you. And it's like, but your parents could have terrible ideas about sexual education.
Yeah. I think
And
that,
and it should be more like you don't just learn how to drive based on whatever your parents think is cool for you to do. No, like you have to be like and adequately trained in that. And sex ed is complicated, especially for a teenager, to know about STIs and like protective measures and like maturity levels and when it's developmentally appropriate. Like,
to,
get more psychologists involved. Don't
yeah.
ask your parents. Your
Preacher,
parents are probably dumb.
to be fair, Preacher, you did say learning about sex and the nature should be from school, and it should be learned by parents, in my opinions. So you weren't necessarily you weren't talking about books there.
You're the one who brought the thing up. I'm just responding to the comment.
Yeah.
And also, they could technically get those books from the public library as well. So once again, I don't see the harm in her sharing from a specific library because they had like, I don't need like, I just that still blows my mind that like just like there could have been something like that just their school didn't have, or like that wasn't even sexual in nature or in any way like,
yeah,
I don't know, harmful to like someone under 18
well, there was,
or whatever.
I remember at one point there was one state that banned like oh god, what was it? It was like the like main characters in a book were like LGBT based, and like some of the stuff in the content of the book was LGBT, and it was like it wasn't like anything like hypersexual or anything, but that book got banned because like a parent complained basically about that book being in the school, and it's like, dude, that shouldn't be. Like, I remember I don't remember which state it was. I don't think it was the Don't Say Gay bill. It was a different bill in a different state, but it was basically like a parent complains about a piece of material, like they can contest it and have it removed from the curriculum if they disagree with it. And I'm like, damn, I would be the parent that walks in there and be like, I contest the Bible. I don't want this at all in the school. In second, in America, you can absolutely get your driver's license from. No, you can get your driver's license on the education you got from your parents, but you still have to follow the like standardized ruling of like the state.
You cannot go get your driver's license from your parents.
Yeah, you still have to like test under the state law and like a government, like a state organization. You can't just like have your parents give you a license.
Your parents may take you out to a parking lot and tell you some things, but like you're not legally allowed to, go drive just because your parents guided you through that. Like they're not actually supposed to give you that education. They're supposed to support you through learning that. But not that I'm saying you need a license to start having sex as a kid, but just mean that like for something that is serious and requires more than just a whatever level of knowledge base, it should probably be communicated from, some sort of expert, right? Not just
when most of our shit's like abstinence, like the little bit that we do get to schools, like the other person saying, I'm sorry, I can't see the whole name, but like the information we did get on STIs was really limited, and it was more just like basically just like in Mean Girls, like you have chlamydia, you'll die. Like it was almost like that. Like there's very little out there. Like, and of course you're still gonna have, kids are still gonna have sex. So it's better to educate them. And that doesn't mean like fucking showing them porn, like Jesus Christ. It just means like just talking about basic human anatomy, which we should all fucking learn. Like the fact that like grown women who don't know, like you pee out of somewhere different, like that you have like two, like just
or
there's
that you
so
should
many
pee
things
after sex every time within 30 minutes.
Yes,
Things
exactly.
I didn't learn until I was like probably 17 or 18, and I had decent sex education, and that was still stuff that I learned later on.
I know, I Googled stuff like at like 20 something, being like, what the fuck is this? Like, oh, this is a normal thing. Why the fuck did no one ever tell me this is something that happened to my body? Like, I'm sorry, but this is not everyone's parents are going to teach them. And even if they do, like Brady's saying, they might not be like well versed or like have all the, knowledge. So
actively harmful knowledge.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, let's get off the license analogy, just because I think that's like bogging down the conversation. What we're saying is like most parents aren't going to give you like, or a lot of parents aren't going to be able to give you a comprehensive understanding of like safe sex and good sex practices, especially when like a lot of sex practices for parents are informed by like their personal values rather than like a lot of like science-based stuff. And again, even as like if I was a parent right now and I had like the amount of sex education that I did, like it might mean that there's things I just don't know to tell you because I just don't have the education to like pass on to my, like, let's say your parent is teaching you about driver's ed, right? And there's like certain rules of the road that they actually don't know because they haven't like studied in a long time. And you know, like I'm a driver right now. Most of us are drivers here, but you don't know every single fucking driving law that like exists on the books because we just don't. Whereas like a driving instructor probably is going to know those things, or a person who works for the driving company is going to know those things because that is their job to know all those policies. Whereas like an average person, they can teach you as much as they know, but they might not know every single thing because they're not trained in it. So the same thing with sex ed is like your parents can teach you everything they know, which might be informed by their experience, but they're not going to teach you everything they're probably, or the more things that there are to know, but that's because they don't know that they don't know it. Right?
Yeah, also not 100% of people's parents know how to drive.
Oh, that too. Yikes.
Like, there's a huge, significant number of people who don't have a license at all.
Yeah. I think like the sex thing, like when it comes to like sex, and I know a lot of people are like, oh, this should be a parent's job. It's like a lot of parents are just not going to give good sex advice to their kids. It's just not going to happen. A lot of parents, especially like in the generations above us, are too like, luckily my parents were very open and had like, my mom had very good conversations about like sex and sex education with me because she is very open. But I know a lot of people whose parents will never, ever, 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 ever touch the topic of sex with them because it is very taboo in like generations above us. That's all subjective, that parents can't teach proper sex education. You would have to define to me what proper sex education is, what you do mean when you say that. Sex education that is like fully informed and adequate for everyone. So like, what is like the truth about STDs? Which ones can be managed? Which ones can't be? How are STDs transmitted? What constitutes safe sex? What options are there for like prevention of STDs and pregnancy? Because a lot of times it's like,
what do you mean fully informed?
Those are the things.
Literally explaining
these are the things
right
I'm listing
now.
off. Yeah. Yeah, talks probably about consent, which like, again, I would argue are probably like relationship based and like sexual based, but how to like properly understand those things. Probably all the anatomy stuff is a little bit more complicated, that your parents might not know all the anatomy. So like having a sex education class where you can like learn proper anatomy and how those things work. There's probably other things I'm missing, but like those are like some of the big ones that I can list off the top of my head of like, these things are probably things that your parents might not completely know. I realize that. That's okay. But yeah, those are like some of the main ones like that I think like just off the top of my head that I would say that like, and even like if it like, and again, there might be parents who are like teaching their kids value formed sex education. So if you have parents that are like maybe like very like traditional or very like religious, they might just say like it's like abstinence only, right? Like, and they might never give you sex education beyond that. So like if you're a student, like there's going to be kids who have really good sex education at home, and those are not the kids that the sex education at school is targeted towards. Sex education at school is targeted towards people who aren't going to get that sex education anywhere else because their parents are like not going to teach it to them. Oh yeah, no, I know, but I'm just, yeah, no, you're fine, you're good. Let's just, yeah. But like that's the whole thing is like when we talk about sex education in school, it's not really targeted at the people who will have good sex education at home, which I like had decent sex education at home, but a lot of my sex education did come from school because there's things that like your parents just might not talk to you about because it's like, you know what, like it's a little bit of a weird conversation, or like, but like my mom was pretty open with me. Like we've had conversations about like sex and stuff like that because like she was much more progressive. But like I know, again, a lot of parents who won't have those conversations, and the only place those kids are ever going to get like some type of like semblance of sex education is from like their health classes at school. So if we can make those health classes, you know, relatively informative for young people, then it's probably a good thing to do. Yeah, I'm rambling. I'm sorry. Anyone else want to jump in here?
I don't think you're rambling at all. Oh. I was going to be just really bitchy and trying to reply, so I just love the way you handled that.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, I'm totally not irked. It's fine.
I am, but usually when people like disagree with me in my chat, I try to like bounce back and forth enough to like, you know, give a good different perspective. I agree a lot with what you said. That's the thing though, it's targeted to people who don't have it at home. but it would be best to have it at home and school can pick up the slack. That's true, but that's like an idealistic world, right? We know that that's not always gonna, like, we can talk in like a hypothetical world.
Your biology teacher is not qualified to teach you about sexual education unless they're specifically certified in that. Like we're imagining that like it's either one or the other, and I'm just suggesting that some sort of like third, intermediary is there, like people who are actually trained and knowledgeable, fully knowledgeable, as Rex explained about like what sexual education is and what the parameters of that are, and like that should be extra, information, like a separate entity from schooling or home.
Oh, yeah, but like I think the thing with like having the school argument is like every student usually is like required to go to school, whereas like if you had like a third party thing, you might not have students like or people who attend that like because they don't have time.
Well, you still have parents who would say, "My kid's not going to go to that. They can learn it from me because the Bible tells me this." Like that's what you'll get.
Yeah,
you'll get parents complaining that their kids shouldn't go to this thing.
Yeah.
So this like there's no real solution to it either way.
That's why school is the easiest place, because school is like a mandated thing for all people, and it's somewhere your student has to be, and it's less likely that your parent is going to have like influence on what your child learns in school, because I know in the States there's places where parents can like opt you out of classes and stuff, and actually even in Canada it does happen. I remember my mom had a story, sorry this is like gonna be a little bit of a tangent, but my mom, like obviously we're Indian, but she like did like she would do like a little bit of yoga sometimes, like she taught kindergarten, so she would like have her students do a little bit of stretching and yoga before she like had them go down for their nap time in the middle of the day. And I guess these two like little girls out of her class, or like one little girl out of her class, went home and told her mom, and the mom came in the next day complaining, being like, "You can't teach yoga in here, like you're pushing your religion and all this stuff." Like she like reamed my mom out. My mom's like, "I was just trying to get them to like do some deep breathing before they like take nap time." And then my mom had to change like the name of the session from like a yoga session to like just a deep breathing meditation session, or she did like meditation and yoga and to like change to like deep breathing or whatever. And my mom was like, it was so stupid, but yeah. That was like one of the big things. But it's like the same thing with this, where it's like, I know you can opt your kids out, but it's like less likely that kids are going to get opt out of like in-school programs than having to like do a third-party program or get bad education at home.
Did you think it was satanic? Was she one of like those people who's like
I think so.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. Which is kind of funny because it's like, oh, it's something we just grew up with, but I'm like Indian, so I just thought it was like very normal. That it was like, oh, it's just like a nice stretching and deep breathing, kind of like calm yourself type exercise. I just didn't realize that people had like a religious attachment to it.
Yoga is clearly demonic.
Oh, absolutely.
Just like food and free meal, you should bring a lunch for your kid to school, but if you can't, sure, let the school do it, but you should be from home ideally. Yeah, like, and I think that's the thing, is like in an ideal world, everyone would get good sex education at home, but we also know that that's not going to happen. So if we could have like some standardized education for it, like minimum education for it in school, so that everyone is like guaranteed some understanding of like sexual education, then that's probably the best, like in our current world, the world that like we exist in right now, to like have. Yeah. Okay. I think it's like we're 3.5 hours in. It's 2:30 in the morning. I think we should wrap up stream. This was a very good conversation. If you guys have any last thoughts, you can throw them in chat, or I have a Discord. You can also throw your opinions in my Discord, and we can chat there. And I will reply to people who engage there. And I will probably, I don't know, if it gets enough engagement, we'll bring it up on next stream. But there's Brady at the top of my screen.
You're letting your engagement drive your content, Rex.
Yeah, of course. What the fuck? Why not? Are you fucking kidding me? If it's getting fucking good clicks, why would I not? Look, I'm a clout goblin, okay? I'll take it. I don't care. If I'm grinding on the fucking Twitch shit, then I'll grind on the Twitch shit. Whatever gets engagement, I'll do.
I'm just messing with you.
Oh my god. I hope Maine never comes into my chat. I will destroy them. Okay. Sorry for being a bitch on your stream, Rex.
No, that's okay. I love it. I love when people come on my stream and get heated. It's like fun.
Bye, everyone.
Anyway,
Bye.
This is Brady. You can go find his channel. It's down below. And this is Iggy down here. I don't think I have her channel linked on my thing, but I really should. But she's really cool. Iggy Pop My Cherry. Her channel's cool. And then that's Brady. And then earlier Ed was on. He's also linked at the bottom of my channel. So go check out all of them. And I will be back hopefully in another couple of days. I will be back streaming. So... Bye.
Bye.